Calexico Redevelopment Success Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda. The opening meeting on Tuesday, August 18, 2015, 5:46. Roll calls. Mr. Okay. Mr. Castro is absent. Okay, so we have closed session. We have two persons, I believe, want to talk. Number 15, Maribel Padilla. A closed session of the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Success Agency, Calexico Financing Authority may be held on accordance with the state law, which may include it, but is not limited to the following types of the items: personal matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instructions to real property negotiators, and the conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. The closed session will be held in the City Hall conference room located at 608 Hiba Avenue, Calexico, California. Any public comment on closed session items will be taken before the closed session. Any required announcement or discussion of these closed session items or actions following the closed session will be made in the City Council chambers, 608 Hiba Avenue, Calexico, California. First person, Maribel Padilla.
Maribel Padilla, Calexico. I'm here for item number 15. It just says interim chief of police. I am hoping that once you go in there, you're working on a contract to keep the chief of police. Enough time has gone by. He is getting paid an outrageous amount of money because this council can't come to an agreement. He was brought in with a consultant amount, which should have only lasted at least 45 days or something like that, and it should have been done with. You should have reached a contract by then. And you haven't. And so all these months, since December, he's getting paid this outrageous amount. So you guys, Mr. Kim, you're always watching the bottom line. You're always watching that money. You need to come up with a contract today when you go in closed session, hire the man, give him a contract, and be done with it. This is ridiculous if it continues to go on. It's been, what, at least 8 months? You people cannot come to a decision in 8 months? And you need to quit changing the terms every time you go in there, too. So come to an agreement, hire the chief of police, and let's be done with it.
Thank you. Mr. Benjamin Holton, number 15. In try to save the time, Mr. Holton, 15 and 16 together, please.
What about 17 and 18?
I have 16 and 17 and 18.
You should have asked her to do the same thing.
No, she can for the rest of them.
She can?
Yeah, she can.
Or finish that?
No, you choose to start first.
Ben Horton, and I'm kind of happy that Mr. Kim put it the way he put it in order to express yourself. Today I was in court. I was there for jury duty, and the worst thing that I ever could see in a court is that when it came to Calexico, they broke out laughing, and they used the term only in Calexico. Here we are talking about the chief of police, about his contract, and the worst thing that I can say of any body is indecisive action. When you stand there and you won't make a decision, but you'll let things deteriorate to a point where there's no return. Like Ms. Padilla talked about, here we are X number of months in reference to the chief. And have we made any decision? It's like day one, no decision. And today when I was in the court, when they found out that I was from Calexico, in order to discuss everything, they cleared the chamber, and it was just me and the lawyers. And I had to explain why I couldn't go for the continuation of the deal, because Calexico has a certain, in Calexico, fame about themselves. Let's do something more proactive. Let's do something that shows what Calexico and the fiber of Calexico is about. Let's take care of our chief. Let's get a chief here. Let's give him a contract, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show that Calexico can make a decision. They can move and adjust to the situation. Mr. Kim said that I should talk about number 16 also. And this is in reference to the attorney. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back a little bit of history here. Let's talk about how it was when we asked our attorney a question. They'll say, we have to get back to you on this. We don't have the answer for you. We will be sitting out here listening that we have to get back to it. Now, is that any way for our attorney to explain themselves to represent the city council? But yet, there are those say that what we have is not good enough to what we're looking for. And what are we looking for? Last session, in a form that was not, I would say is not right, it was not the way things should be, proper etiquette, we were blindsided with the possibility of returning a previous attorney group to the city. The very same attorney that helped us to get to a situation where even legally we were getting the wrong advice. Some people can roll their eyes and say, well, let's return to what was once upon a time. And once upon a time, in fact, they were getting payments for retirement, which was illegal. And we got about $50,000 back because they didn't make the right decision by saying that we can't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg you, do what's right. Keep the attorney that we have. Let's move forward to a greater Calexico that we can be proud of. And I'm sure this body that's sitting up here will do what's right in your conscience. Thank you.
Thank you. The 17? 17, 18? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this was supposed to be something either or depending what takes place. But yet, we're talking about the attorney. In my, if we're looking to bring back the previous attorney group, I'm against it. If we're looking to keep the attorney that we have that's doing an excellent job, nobody can say that they have not given, let's say, blind or unbiased opinions. The opinions have been opinions that we all can live with. At the end of the day, we're not sitting in our home saying, that was wrong, that was right. It was the right decision. I made a comment today in court, and I said we should all be concerned about the letter of the law. Sometimes we've got the letter of the law or the spirit of the law, but the letter, what the law says, not what we think that the law is to say, it's the letter of the law. And this attorney group, we got some problem with the communication here, but this group here has been good. You look at the history, think back. The opinions that they have given us have been right on the money. Not, you can say, I dislike them or what, but the opinions have been right on the money. And there's sometimes, I wish they would have said something else, but they were very direct what the law says. And in reference to 18, When we agreed to give the city manager his contract, we agreed for performance evaluation every so often. Now we're getting to the point that we're doing performance evaluations every meeting. And I think what was in the contract didn't say it was going to be like this. So I hope that this body will say, enough is enough on these weekly. So if this is the case, he has done all the evaluations for this year that were required in his contract. So I hope we will understand, if you're going to evaluate the person, give him a chance. And I said it before, if you're going to evaluate, what are the guidelines for the evaluation? What are you looking for? What points does he have to adhere to? Then we move and we do what, I'm sure he will, what he's required to do. Thank you.
You finished in 18 too? 17, 18? Okay, thank you.
If you went line item by line item, you wouldn't be asking what he has finished. That's the way it should be, Mr. Mayor. Go by line item. Where are you going, Mandy? You always do this. When people talk, when the citizens talk, you leave. You should be sitting here, not leaving. And that's what's wrong with all of you. You guys don't take into account all these citizens that come here. That is very disrespectful for him to walk out every single meeting. Go back to the recording. Every single meeting he walks out. Getting back to this. On number 16, dismissal of the city attorney. I can only assume that it's your item, Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro, and possibly Mandy, but he's not here, so who knows. Why would you want to dismiss the city attorney? You should be wanting to give him a permanent contract. This city attorney has done more, has said more, has spoken out more in the few months that he's been here than the last attorneys that we had. So you should not be dismissing him. And Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro, as you sit there ignoring me, some of these people, some of these citizens want him here because he does his job. He knows what he's doing. He has stopped you several different times when you go on and you can't do something. And I think that's what it is. He stops you in your tracks. He doesn't let you go on with your shenanigans. And that's why you want to dismiss him. That's the only reason I can see why you want to dismiss him. Now, let's go to number 17. You want to hire the old attorneys. Well, guess what? I don't want you to hire the old attorneys. I don't want my taxpayer money paying the old attorney to sit there and twirl her hair, play on her phone, and take naps while this city council's going on, letting Mr. Castro do anything he wants when it's a conflict of interest with his trucks and buses and everything. That's what happened when we had the old attorneys. You guys did anything you wanted. She didn't stop you. She hardly even spoke. She was too busy twirling her hair, like I said. She never stopped anything you guys did. And now you want her back after she took money from the city that was not for her to take. That's who you want to bring back, is what I heard. So I hope that's not what you're trying to do. Because if it is, if you fire this attorney to bring back the old ones, then we all know, yeah, there's corruption and you want it back. Because they let you guys do whatever you wanted. Now, let's go to number 18. City manager. Again, it says employee performance evaluation. I'm not in the know. I don't sit up here. I don't go in there in your closed session. So I have to take by face value what it says here. It says evaluation. You have evaluated him every single meeting since he signed the contract. You're done, people. Guess what? You're only supposed to do it 4 times a year. You've done it. This is your 4th time, I think. So you're done. You don't get to do this again. So if you're just putting this agenda item so you guys can go in there and talk about whoever or whatever, because you always change what it's really about, then you need to put an item that says, we're going to speak about whatever item you guys can't listen to or can't know. But don't put down an evaluation of the city manager if it's not going to be an evaluation. And if it is, like I said, you're done. You've had the 4 evaluations for the year. So next agenda, I should not be seeing another evaluation of the city manager. Next agenda, I hope I see signing of a contract for the police chief. That's what I need. Thank you for ignoring me, Mr. Castro and Mr. Kim, and speaking while I'm speaking. Thank you, Mandy, for walking out when I was speaking. Hopefully, you've gone to the bathroom, spoken to whoever you've done, and you're done. You will not leave again when the meeting's going on, right? Right?
I'm not to, you're supposed to talk to the whole council as a whole, not individually.
The whole council didn't walk out.
Is that correct,
The
Attorney?
whole council did not walk out.
Is that correct, Attorney?
It's the mayor's meeting. The mayor should probably admonish to speak to the entire council, but
Thank you.
she can address individual members, but, at this point.
Okay,
Moving
let
on.
me make it to the 5 of you. Maritza, John, Mr. Kim, Mr. Castro, Mr. Real. Before the meeting starts, you go to the bathroom. Before the meeting starts, you speak to whoever you need to speak to and get off the phone. Mr. Castro, you get here on time. The meeting starts at 5:30, not 5:45. Okay? So do all your business that you need to do before the meeting starts. Once the meeting starts, you're on our dime. We're paying your taxpayer money. So you sit here and do your work. Now walk away. Yes, Mr. Castro? Think it's funny? You walking in late? I didn't think it was funny. I got here on time. So listen.
right.
Instead of fighting me, listen. Be here and don't be walking out.
Thank you, Ms. Padilla. Next person, I believe one of the person submitted the Javier Gonzalez public comment. This one for the, excuse me, Mr. Javier. This I'm questioning is, this one is closed session only. It's not the public comment. That's closed session? Okay.
First of all, Mr. Padilla, you surprise me every time. I mean, there's a council. Some citizens here in the public surprise me because you're the council, you were elected, and it's looked like people want to direct you and mandate to do what you have. I mean, I don't know. You guys work with the city manager. You guys work with the attorney, not me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I just can tell you that I am very happy with Mr. Warren because the downtown is looking pretty nice. The parks are looking pretty nice. But you are the guys that have to deal with him every day. I just told him yesterday. The parks are looking better. Downtown is looking better. Maybe I prejudged him before, or maybe people wanted me to endorse him on the first day, but I told him, we met 1 year ago, and I told him I'm going to judge you by how you work with me, how I look at my community. I do represent the Kennedy Garden Neighborhood Watch, and I don't speak on behalf of all the citizens. You guys do your work, you guys do the decisions you have, and I think we, as citizens, must respect whatever you do. I don't work with these men, people. I don't know how Mr. Warren is. I don't know if he lies or whatever he does. I just know that he's here. You guys brought him here. You guys appointed him. You guys gave him a contract. I respect him. But I do want to say that the parks in downtown is starting to look a lot better. The employees, they seem to be working. I don't know what happened, but they're working. So that's all I can add. I mean, you're going to go down there. It's your decision, and whatever you do, I respect that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, name is closed session items, Victor Flores.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the council. Is this the one where I just only have 3 minutes to talk? Or,
Yes,
yeah?
3 minutes.
Okay. My name is Victor Flores. I work for the city of Calexico. I'm a police officer over 10 years and about another 4 as a reserve. And I think that it's important for me to bring out some information that I've researched on Mr. Michael Bostic. First of all, he's been demoted by William Braxton, by Los Angeles Police Department. The chief of police have demoted him. He's also generated a sexual harassment lawsuit where the city had to pay out $900,000 for sexual harassment. Another thing is that there's all this comes from a credible news agency, the LA Times. Another thing that, what has he done? Okay, what he's done, he's fired 7 officers. He's destroyed 7 families. He goes on TV and says the 7 corrupt officers. Well, how can you say that? Based on what? He was here 2 weeks and you put him on admin leave? Where are the evidence? Where are the things? Where are the arrests? Apparently, he tries to sell his gimmick to the attorney, Otero, and he wouldn't buy into that. Why is that? That's his job, to prosecute, especially if someone in law enforcement is involved in some other corruption. Hey, we need to put those people in jail, regardless if it's someone that's for Calexico, Imperial PD, Raleigh, regardless, that person needs to be held accountable. None of that has occurred. I'm asking you to please reconsider offering any kind of contract to Mr. Bostic. He refers to you as lying out your ass. His words. Why would I ever say those words to the city council? You guys have been elected by the masses of Calexico. Regardless of where you stand, you deserve the common respect because the people voted you to put in there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. So I believe that every person which talk, I think they've been comment themselves. So we're going to go to the closed session. I believe that we have to read all the agenda to go to before we go to closed sessions. We have to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, the Brown Act states you need to read the items before you go into closed session,
Yeah.
particularly the real property negotiations.
Yeah, thank you. Conference with the real property negotiators. Property is 405 Grand Street, Calexico, California, 92231, 2047, APN number 058-333-009. Agency negotiator, city managers, city attorney, Daryl Neal and Steve Perrins. Negotiating party, Susana and Bonifacio Favela. On the negotiation price and terms of purchase. Government Code Section 54956.8. Conference with real property negotiators. Property 711 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231.
The attorney left, maybe we should wait for him to come back. Is that okay? Well, I mean, we're paying him a lot more than I'm getting paid, but should we wait for, I think we should wait for him.
Well, I think maybe if Mr. Kim would just read property, agency, negotiators, and basically it, because all the government codes
It
are
is
the same.
$250 an hour, so.
All the government,
Yeah, but also the what's
what,
called the
15
18 number difference,
15
partial number difference.
Sort of $50
well,
break for breakfast.
Mr. Mayor, if, I'm looking at the items. It's conference with real negotiators, that's all the same. What changes is property and agency negotiators and negotiating party. The government codes are all the same, the price and terms are all the same. So if he would just read the first 3 lines, I think that would be enough.
Okay, 4 or 5 lines.
Yeah.
The first and last one, I'm not going to read anymore. Okay. Number 2, Calexico, California, 92231, APN 058-400-049. Agency negotiator, Richard Warren, city manager, Mark Austin, city attorney, Daryl Neal, and Steve A. Perrins. Negotiating party, Luis Humberto Barriga Rodriguez. On the negotiation price and the terms of the purchase. Number 3, property 475, Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231, 2128. APN number 058-400-012. Agency negotiator, Richard Warren, city manager, Mark Austin, city attorney, Daryl Neal, and Steve Perrin. Negotiating parties, Jose and Marta Rodriguez. On the negotiation price and terms of the purchase. Okay. Number 4.
That's ridiculous.
Property 721, 781, Cesar Chavez Boulevard, and 438 West Grand Street, Calexico, California, 92231, APN 334-002, and 058-334-005. Agency negotiator, Richard Warren, city manager, Mark Austin, city attorney, Dario, Neil, and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Gasolineria Cesar Chavez Incorporations, on the negotiation price and terms of purchase. Number 5, property 705 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 058-400-084 and 058-400-35. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney Dario, Neil, and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Southern Pacific Company. On the negotiation, price, and terms of purchase. Number 6, property 420 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231, APN 058-400-045. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney, Dario, Neil, and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Ellen Early Trust. On the negotiation price and the terms of purchase. Number 7, property 420 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231, APN 058-400-046 and 058-400-047 and 058-400-23. Negotiating party, Ireland Early Trust. On the negotiation price and terms of purchase. Number 8, property Cesar Chavez Boulevard, West 2nd Street, Calexico, California, 92231, 300 West 2nd Street, Calexico, California, 92231, APN 058-400-029. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney, Dario, Neil, and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Dollar Amount Holdings. On the negotiation price and terms of purchase. Number 9, property 438 Grand Street, Calexico, California, 92231, 2038, APN number 058-334-004. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney, Daryl Neal and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Andres and Estela Garcia Trust. On the negotiation, price, and terms of purchase. Number 10, property 421 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231-2101. APN number 058-400-013. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney, Daryl Neal and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Pablo and Elaria American Trust. On the negotiation, price and terms of the purchase. Number 11, property 555 Cesar Chavez Boulevard, Calexico, California, 92231, APN number 058-400-006. Agency negotiator, city manager, city attorney, Daryl Neal and Steve Perrin. Negotiating party, Hector Araujo. On the negotiation, price and terms of purchase. Number 12, conference with labor negotiator, agency representative, city manager, city attorney, employee organizations, police officer association, government code section 54957.6. Number 13, conference with the labor negotiator, agency representative, city manager, city attorney, employee organizations, firefighters association, government code section 54957.6. 14, conference with the labor negotiators, agency representative, city manager, city attorney, employee organizations, supervisor associations. Number 15, conference with the labor negotiators, Government Code, Section 54957.6, title Interim Chief of Police. Number 16, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, Government Code 54957B, title Interim City Attorney, public employee appointments, Government Code 54957B, title Interim City Attorney, City Attorney. Say 18, public employee performance evaluation, Government Code Section 54957B, title City Manager. Before we go to closed session, I'd like to request the city attorney read the penal code for the public. Penal code regarding the meeting. We had
I'm sorry, you're requesting that I read this?
yes, please, penal
The
code.
provision of the penal code?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've been handed a piece of paper that I'm being told is a provision of the Penal Code, Section 403. It states, according to this piece of paper, every person who, without authority of law, willfully disturbs or breaks up any assembly or meeting that is not unlawful in its character, other than an assembly or meeting referred to in Section 302 of the Penal Code or Section 18340 of the Election Code, is guilty of a misdemeanor.
Thank you. We adjourn to the closed sessions. (6:55), we reconvene from the closed session and call to the order. Ms. Erica, call to the order. Okay, the attendance. People can sit. Yeah, okay, thank you. Please have the allegiance. Would you lead by the Daniel Santian? Invocation by Reverend Miguel Campos, Our Lady of the Guadalupe Catholic Church. It's not here.
Mayor, he was unable to be here tonight, so somebody else may give the prayer, or we can proceed without the prayer.
Yeah, we can just bypass
Mr.
that.
Horton? Wanna give it?
Can bypass that closed session announcement, Mr. Austin.
No reportable action was taken in the closed session.
Thank you. Approval of agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion? We're going to go to vote.
Please vote.
Mr. Castro? Do you want to discuss?
No.
Thank you. 5-0. Announcement. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov. The Friday following the City Council meeting. Presentations. Number 19. Proclamation of the Bulldog Football Centennial, September 11, 2015. I believe the each council members has proclamation here. So I believe I'm going to start by and following by the numbers. Whereas the Calexico City Bulldog Football Centennial, September 11, 2015. Whereas the Calexico City Council acknowledged the importance of the education of our young people attending Calexico High School, and
Whereas the Calexico City Council commends the Calexico School District Board of Trustees for providing our students with a quality education that includes participation in competitive sports team experiences outside the classroom, and
Whereas the Calexico City Council recognizes the Bulldog football program as one of the major competitive sports team experiences, and
Whereas the City of Calexico High School Bulldog football team was first formed in 1915, and
Whereas for 100 years, Calexico High School has competed against high schools football teams from the Imperial Valley, several Southern California counties, Arizona, and Mexico, and
whereas Calexico High School has employed 34 head football coaches that taught, the motivate, and the mentored countless Calexico High School football players, and
whereas the Calexico City Council congratulates the coaches, players, and other student participants along with their families for a successful century of football at Calexico High School, and
whereas the success of educating the youth of Calexico will always include the awareness of Bulldog traditions and the strong community support of the Bulldog football program at Calexico High School.
now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Calexico hereby proclaims September 11, 2015 to be celebrated as the Bulldog Football Centennial, and
further be it resolved that the mayor and the council members extend their best wishes for success and fulfillment in all future Bulldogs sports endeavors at Calexico High School.
in witnesses thereof, I hereunto affix my signature and the official seal of the City of Calexico on this 18th of August, 2015. June Kim, Mayor. I believe that we have a representing the high school, Calexico High School Principal, Gabi William, and Mike Charles.
this is a better. Arriba Bulldogs!
Use the mic. We can't hear you on the recording. Oh, okay.
Here's a mic. Mike.
There you go.
Good evening, everyone, and I want to thank the City of Calexico for this recognition. My name is Gabby Williams. I'm the Calexico High School principal. I'd like to take a minute to introduce my administrative and Bulldog team that are here to support this event and support past coaches, past students, support our football program, and your efforts in this celebration and recognition of our athletic department. So I'll start with Assistant Principal, Mr. Jaime Santos. Our new Bulldog Assistant Principal joining Calexico Unified School District. We stole them from El Centro, Mr. Dennis Price. And Assistant Principal at Calexico High School, Ms. Cindy Salgado. And graduate of Calexico High School. On behalf of all of the coaches at Calexico High School for the past 100 years, 34 coaches, thousands and thousands of students that have attended Calexico High School and participated in our student programs and athletic programs, I am truly honored to be here at the right time, right year, right, to accept this award on behalf of them. So thank you very much. Again, we support your efforts in recognizing this very special event for our athletes and our city, and I'm very honored, and thank you again.
We would also like to acknowledge one more person who is basically a staple to Calexico Bulldog football. We'd like to acknowledge Mr. John Moreno, the voice of Calexico Bulldogs and Calexico football. Once again, thank you, and have a nice night.
Last reminder and invitation, we hope to see you at Calexico High School on September 11th. It's not only a great event, but we also will be grand opening of our concession stand. And I also like to extend my invitation to visit Calexico High School. There's the new renovations and more that will take place this year. And so that is your school. We are here to support you, and we're committed to you. We're here to provide a service to you, our community, and our students. So feel free to stop by anytime. That's your high school. You belong there, your children, your grandchildren. So any ideas, any suggestions you have, or you'd like to come and volunteer, come and be part of the Bulldog team. Go Bulldogs and have a great season. Thank you.
A short commercial. The Bulldogs will be playing San Diego High School on September 11th, 2015. The game will be known as the Centennial Game. The celebrations will start at 4:30 at the Carmen Durazo Cultural Arts Center, where we'll have some pregame activities. After those, we'll proceed to the game. There'll be a short halftime ceremony commemorating the 34 coaches. And then following the game, we'll return to the Carmen Durazo Cultural Arts Center to just sort of finish that particular event. It's of significance because San Diego High School and Calexico first met in San Diego in 1916 in a semifinal CIF football game. Next year, Calexico will go to San Diego High School and play them for a 100th year at that particular school. So we're excited about the event, and we welcome everyone to our pregame event, as well as the game, as well as the postgame again. Thank you.
What time is it?
Mr. Charles, could you introduce the committee members that are here with you?
Yes, we have Victor Esquer. Loli Torres. Lucy Araiza. Connie Nava Garcia, and Fergie Escalante. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Okay, I believe number 20 was pulled out by the members, the staff. Number 21, report on status on the joint swimming pool project. Bulldog Aquatic Center between the City of Calexico and the Calexico Unified School District. Who's going to have a presentation?
Oh, on the swimming pool? I'm sorry. Mayor, members of the City Council, and members of the public, the mayor has asked me to give a report and an update on the swimming pool. So that we're all on the same page, the swimming pool facility is really a three-pool complex. There's a competition pool that's 8 lanes at 75 by 75. There's a recreation pool that's 30 by 50, and a wading pool that goes into the recreation pool that's 15 by 30. The project is a joint Calexico Unified School District project and a City of Calexico project. It is jointly funded. And guiding this particular project has been a pool committee made up of 2 members of the school district board of trustees and also 2 members of the city council along with staff. Now, so that's what's been guiding the project. The dimensions of the pool, the length, the width, the depth, was decided a couple of years ago, several years ago, by the pool committee and was brought back to their respective bodies. Now, so what has happened is that the pool has been designed, the school district was the lead agency, and it has been designed, it has been engineered, and because it's on school property, it has to be approved by the state. So all the plans and the specifications have been up to the state, and they've all been approved by the state. In addition to that, both the city and the school district have worked together to retain the services of a construction manager for the project. So this particular project was sent out to bid, and the bids came back, and on July 21st, the pool committee met, and it was reported by the architect that the bids had come in higher than had been anticipated, and the project was over budgeted. So what the architect recommended is that there was a classroom, multi-purpose room that was part of the pool complex, and he recommended that be deleted. And if that particular building was deleted that is not essential to this pool project, that the project would be within budget, and so he recommended that the school district reject all bids, the school district award the bid for the swimming pool, and then reject all bids on the rest of the complex and rebid it. The pool committee endorsed that recommendation, and that recommendation went to the school district board of trustees. At that meeting, they voted 2-2, 2 for and 2 against the recommendation of the architect. And at that time, the issue came up, and the school district wanted to resolve was whether or not by eliminating this multi-purpose classroom building, if in fact the state would still provide the funding for this project. That particular issue was resolved, and so there was a special meeting on August the 10th, and at that meeting, the issue was raised by one of the board members that perhaps the pool did not meet the California Interscholastic Federation standards for competition. I have talked to the architect, and he assures me that that the competition pool does meet those standards, and that he's prepared to go forward to the next school district meeting. They're going to call a special meeting either tomorrow or Thursday to once again consider the bids and move forward on this particular project. The architect did remind me that the pool committee was the one that decided on the length, the width, the depth of all 3 pools, okay? And so when I asked him, I said, when we talk about these standards, is the width correct? Is the length okay? Does it meet all the standards? He said yes. The only issue was where it meets minimum standards is on the competition pool, it's at the minimum of 4 feet deep. That's the only issue, according to the architect. So we have been working very closely with the school district. They've been great partners. It's been a very positive working relationship. I'm confident that when they meet again, that they'll go ahead and award the bid for this project, and we can move forward. We're really too late to redesign the project or to change any of the specifications at this point. And so that is my report, and if anybody has any particular questions, I just want to commend the school district for the good job that they've done, and we look forward to working with them in a positive and productive manner on the swimming pool.
When is going to be the next meeting related to that
The
issue?
school district is trying to call a special meeting either for tomorrow or Thursday to once again consider the issue.
But you're not sure, either for tomorrow or Thursday?
When I talked to the superintendent, she was still trying to schedule the meeting with the board members.
Okay.
But I'm excited. This is a great project, and for the city of Calexico, and it appears to me that it's going to move forward.
Okay, any council member have question?
I just have a comment. If anybody's been to a pool competition, there's no way the kids are going to be able to do the turn underwater to come back in 4 feet of water. They'll either hit their head on the bottom and cause a severe injury. And for some reason, this pool, this company that was doing that's going to do the construction, I believe, somehow they didn't take that into account. And so you'll have a pool made that won't be able to be in competition, and I'm thinking that's what the high school wants, and the city, a pool that can be used for municipal purposes, competition, CIF, and I believe they're trying to figure out if it's the size is able to be used for CIF swimming. And so there is a possibility that the pool will not be able to be used for CIF or for swimming if it's done the way it is now. So, however, I wasn't there at the time. I don't know who the people on the board were that approved it back then. But the way it looks right now, it's if this pool gets done the way it is, it might not be used for that competition swimming. So,
I believe that is not approved by the school board and no other city council. Only a committee just approved the design to take to the school board later on. Okay, Mr. Moreno, do you have any question?
No, nothing at this time, sir.
Ms. Hurtado? Okay, first of all, I left, or not only me, Mr. Castro, or some of the council members left black. We are joining to the same project on the swimming pool. Actually, council member, because not the committee member, we don't get any information on that. That's one of the reasons I wanted to put in the agenda as a discussion, not as a presentation. But anyhow, can we have some documents and all the regarding on the project?
What would you like, Mayor, that we haven't given to you already?
No, I mean the documents, not the billboards. All the maps and documents we're supposed to have it. How much it costs.
I'll tell you what, if you will meet with me afterwards, and then I can specifically understand what it is that you would like, and I'll be happy to distribute to the council.
Well, you don't understand, you don't understand. I want to have all the documents, the backup documents for the
We
swimming
will
pool
provide,
size.
Mayor, we will provide you documents, please, and we will provide you something.
Thank you. Okay, I have the person, the number 21, Mr. Benjamin
Mr.
Holton.
Kim, you forgot to read the disclaimer. The disclaimer is right here, right here.
Okay. Yeah, but this one before the disclaimer, that's the problem we have. Presentation number 21.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Number 21, Mr. Holton? No, some of the public wants to talk. Mr. Holton,
20 was canceled.
cancel?
20 was canceled.
21. You cancel? Thank you. Okay. Now, if council member any discussion, we're gonna go for the public comment. Public comments and the public appearance. Note, not to exceed the 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the city council on any item not to appearing on the agenda that is written the subject matter jurisdiction of the city council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and the place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is the closed session or consent item, please comment now. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing item not included on the agenda. On the printed agenda, if the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the city council. Okay, now I have a person wants to speak with the public comments. The person's name is Olivia Valenzuela. Please, right-hand side. After Ms. Valenzuela, Marta Rodriguez. Be prepared for that next. Right, the microphone.
We wouldn't do that. Yeah. Evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. Every year in the Planning Commission with the Streets Department, I see Rockwood Avenue in the planning for repairs and maintenance. And every year I see it go by and nothing has been done. It's been going on for more the years than I can remember. Now, perhaps some work has been done north of 98 to Walmart on Rockwood, and maybe south of 5th Street to 1st Street on Rockwood, but the streets in between are lousy. They are worse than the Baja California streets. Now, if you budget every year for that project, where is that money going? As well as the sidewalks that were promised years ago, and years come in and years go out, and I still don't see anything. So please, what's going on with this project? It's on papelitos, and everything on papelito looks real well, but in practice, it's not working. So my neighbors and I would like to know, when are we going to see a positive change on our street? It's a very heavily trafficked street. Especially during the harvest time, we even see Greyhound buses driving by in trucks, and it's not just regular vehicles. So, you know, it's dangerous. You walking on the sidewalks, you trip, you fall, you'll have a lawsuit. I think I spoke to John about that years ago, and nothing was done. So please, thank you.
Excuse me, for clarification, it's Rockwood from 98 to 5th Street, right?
South of 98 to 5th Street.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was mentioning several times already.
I'm sorry?
I was mentioning several times already that street, but not been fixed.
Mm-hmm. And you're jumping all over your car when you're driving down that street, aren't
Free
you?
massage.
Uh-huh. So please.
City Manager, could we get,
Who has an
I know
answer?
Nick Servin's not here, but can we get an answer on that when he
Well,
gets back?
as part of the budgetary process, we can add that street.
I think it's on the 5-year,
It's on the 5-year plan, but,
Right.
We can use the major D money. no?
yeah, that particular street is not on, at least not on the list for this next coming year, but what we can do, first, I agree with this lady. And we've also had several other people talk about Rockwood. So my recommendation would be that when we approve the
Rock
final
Road, it is now?
budget, that we include this street on the list of streets to be done this coming fiscal year. I know we have the capacity to do it, so with the city council's approval, I'll go ahead and include that.
Thank you, but I would like to see action and not just on the budget, so I'll be watching. And for the record, I forgot to introduce myself, like you don't know. Olivia Valenzuela, 707 Rockwood, resident, proud senior and proud Bulldog.
And also that Rockwood Avenue is not only the street issues, the drain the issues. Last rains, Rockwood Street is like, looks like a liver. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Valenzuela. Next person, Marta Rodriguez.
Mr. Mayor, Ms. Rodriguez is going to speak on item 27.
Oh, 27, see, I'm sorry, that also gave to me this. Okay, next person, Jason John. He's not here yet?
He was
I think
outside.
He's outside, let's jump up for the other person first.
You want me to go
John.
get him? You want me to go get him?
Hey, Romo. You can skip him.
Who's after Romo?
John Anthony Romo.
I'm sure Jason didn't have any.
After that, Javier Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the City Council, Mayor Kim and staff. I want to be quick about this, so you can time me, and I won't be able to stay for the whole meeting, and I want to be able to address 2 items. First of all, you have before you on these to adopt a policy of non-smoking policy. Last year, residents made a presentation to the housing authorities, and whereas the intent to adopt a smoke-free housing policy is actually well taken because that's what the Surgeon General declared. It's only a declaration, not a final ruling by state or by federal. And it's, however, but it's legally optional to each city, not a finding by ruling by state, federal, and or a Department of Housing and Urban Development to restrict, censor, or criminalize an individual's civil rights. Now, during that survey that was conducted by the residents and made a presentation, they felt that they were under the constitutional rights under the 14th Amendment, whereas no state will abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state or executive and judicial officer of a state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within his jurisdiction the equal protection of laws. Now, that includes the Fair Housing Act, the Civil Rights Act, as required by the obligations, including but not limited to the Fair Housing Act, Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, and then it goes on and on. And so people smoke, and I do agree that it's hazardous. That's going on. The concern, I just want to cut it short. The concern is public, they can see it as a public. Private dwelling units, it just, they feel that they're infringing, imposing on their civil rights. That's all I got to say. It's your decision, is before your hands. Mayor Kim, before I leave, I want to make the other comment very quickly. I want to thank Mr. Rio Seco, I want to thank Ricardo Lopez and Mr. Acevedo from the housing authorities. I just founded another resident council, which is going to take place anytime soon with elections. through that resident council, we'll be able to represent the residents appropriately. There's a lot of need for improvements in housing. I'm currently working with this gentleman, and I had the full board support with this resident council to move forward on projects, developments, and also we'll be working on grants to share with the city. That's what I stated on one of the last council meetings. I intend to make a public grant and share it with the city, share it with the police department, then that's where I'm heading. So I'd like to thank these three gentlemen, the full board, and that's where we're going now. Thank you. No, thank you very much.
Before you leave, you understand that the item on the smoking is on the agenda for later this evening, correct? You understand? The item on the agenda for regarding the smoking is that's on the agenda later this evening. You understand that, correct?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I brought it before you. It's in
Okay.
your hands, that's what I said.
Mr. Austin.
I understand.
It's not, I think it's not your role to do with, communicate the community to watch the agenda or not. It's
I
my
understand.
role.
But no, I understand. I just want to state for the record that he has the opportunity to come and speak on this item later when it's on the agenda.
No.
And
No,
he is-
he's not talking about that one. He's talking about the future agenda of talking. He's talking about the opening position for the residents, the residents seat, not the public ones.
No. I was talking about the smoking, and that's my privilege, that's public comments. That's
Yes.
a point of view of the residents.
Yeah.
And I appeal to the council that this gentleman interrupted me because that's not right. This
Yeah.
is a public comment.
Yes.
Well, this portion of the agenda is normally reserved for things that are not on the agenda later in the evening, and I wanted to basically state for the record that it is on the agenda later, and so if he voluntarily leaves, he is waiving the right to speak when that item comes up.
All right. I just stated what I had to state.
Thank you.
I'm not going to argue. That's it.
Okay, next person. Jason Jung is not here yet.
Go ahead, Jason.
Javier Gonzalez was next.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Honorable Mayor, honorable council members, administration, members of the public, my name is Javier Gonzalez. I'm here as the captain of the Kennedy Gardens Neighborhood Watch. I'm here, it's not a complaint, I don't want to make this politics. Before I say what I'm going to say, I'm going to give thanks to Mr. Nick Finley. Our parks are looking better. We still need to meet with the chief and talk about our security, which is better, but security cameras, our speed bumps. But one thing that worries us, and I talked to you most, and I talked to Mr. Warren yesterday, there was a house fire at I'm not going to say the address or the name of the person, in the corner of Robert Kennedy and Tim Perry. There was a house fire last week. The house fire was in the middle of the day. A lot of residents were out there. I got called. I didn't go because I know, all we do is just estorbar there. So after the fire, a lot of neighbors were worried that the main and first hydrant that was arrived to did not work. And I have a lot of pictures, a lot of people say it took 5 to 10 minutes, whatever it took. The lady got burned, the house was totaled, the first fire hydrant there did not work. It malfunctioned, it broke, whatever it did. I just want to bring it to your attention. We want assurances, and I'm going to make Mr. Warren responsible. I know he can do it. I'm getting a lot of confidence from him. We want assurances from you that all fire hydrants at Kennedy Gardens be inspected and replaced. We cannot afford one of our neighbors to get burned. This was in the middle of the day. Imagine this in the middle of the night. I have videos where firefighters were, no water, whatever it is. We're not here to blame. We want them inspected and replaced. I just checked it myself, and our neighborhood watch group has painted them before. I think 5 years, every 3 years we painted them voluntarily. Many of them are just, they're old. They're over 40 years old. And like I said, the lady was burned. The first fire hydrant did not work. Imagine their firefighters get there, whether it broke or has no water, that is unacceptable. And Mr. Warren, when whoever is responsible to inspect them, you can let Erica call me and just send they're inspected. I remember they used to put a different color on the top regarding the pressure, but this fire hydrant, again, the first one that they arrived right in the corner next to the house did not work. And it took up to 10 minutes to get to another hydrant. Those 10 minutes, the house was totaled. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next person, Maribel Padilla.
I will assume, Mr. Kim, that you had the attorney read that penal code for me, because I had just come up and said something. So not to insult you, I'm going to speak slowly, and I'm not going to yell, okay? So you don't go and arrest me, right? Okay? Because regardless of if I speak in this tone or if I yell, I have 3 minutes. We've gone through this. Every citizen has 3 minutes by law to speak what they want, whether you like it or not, whether it pertains to you or not. I didn't lie. I told you the truth. You didn't like it, and you had him read this. We all see it. It's back there. We all have a copy. It doesn't have to be read. But you chose for him to have it read. Good $250 worth there. And now you stop him because he was telling the other person speaking that he was speaking about an agenda item, which he was. He was speaking about smoking. It's an agenda item. The attorney's right. Guess what? The attorney went to school. He has a degree. He has a law firm. He knows what he is doing. You don't get to tell him to be quiet or shut him up because he's telling somebody the truth. He was right. Mr. Roma was speaking on an agenda item. So,
Okay, please.
it will be on the video. So, I don't understand why you're so, let's say, what's the word? I gotta choose my words correctly. You know, you're so touchy about how I speak, okay? I can't yell at you, I can't do anything. But the reality is, I have 3 minutes, whether anybody likes it or not. I have 3 minutes to speak whatever I want to speak on, regardless whether there's a penal code or not. I get to speak. Now, my original for public comments, and it's for you, Mr. Kim. On Facebook, there was a post about a certain councilman going to the orthopedic clinic and saying he wants to close it down because they don't do anything. Don't act like you don't know, please, okay? I asked, and they told me it was not a Mexican and it was not a female. Guess what? Tag you're it. So if you're thinking about closing that orthopedic clinic, you really better be in for a fight. There's a lot of people here that are for that clinic. Just because you assume they're not doing anything doesn't mean that's true. So be very careful, Mr. Kim, what you go and tell people. Because we will fight to keep that orthopedic clinic open. And we will fight you and all of the city council.
Thank you. I think you heard some lying. Yeah, so I think somebody lying on that. Thank you. Next person is Norma Aguilar.
Good afternoon, Norma Aguilar, 839 Heber Avenue. As a point of fact, I don't know how the petitions to request for oral communication are organized, but I did submit my paperwork before Mr. Gonzalez. So I would ask that some type of kind of a following, process of who turns it in first, maybe numbering it 1, 2, 3. I came to speak on Measure H, but I also wanted to answer part of the discussion in terms of the pool, if I may. That competition pool was supposed to, having served on the school board during the time when those the plans were being developed, and having served on the committee, I can tell you that the directive was given that we wanted a competition-style pool. And that was discussed in open session at the school board meetings. And that's what the understanding, and precisely, I think, because of the fact that the pool was supposed to be 9 feet deep all across, that's where the other pools came across, because we had family members, people in the community saying, hey, well, what's going to be available for our seniors and for our children? If there was any change to that, I have no knowledge, but I can tell you that was the intent. And if there were change, I don't understand how there can be changes, because, I saw Sanderson at the groundbreaking. I said, everything's cool, we're on track, and he said yes. And so now to see what's happening is very disappointing. On to what I came originally to talk about. I wish that Mr. Hermosillo were here because he is the chair, but unfortunately he was not able to attend the meeting yesterday. We had a Measure H sales tax committee meeting, and it was presented. First of all, the meeting was called by City Hall. It was not called by the committee. There was no meeting last week, no meeting called, but there was a meeting called for this week. I didn't get a chance to see the agenda because I was out ill on Thursday and Friday. Saw it yesterday morning. Noticed that the cover sheet did not reflect correctly the makeup of the committee members or the council members. But of course, by the time we had the meeting yesterday, it was corrected. In essence, and I'm not going to, in the words of someone I appreciate, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. Bottom line is that back in October or August of last year, and again just recently, this council took it upon itself to circumvent oversight by the Measure H committee. And let me read to you what the intent of the Measure H committee is. Because,
Ms. Aguilar, would you wrap up? We already passed 3 minutes.
will you allow me a minute to wrap up? Beyond?
Yes.
Thank you. So, it's to your benefit, sir. The ordinance also created a Citizen Oversight Advisory Committee comprised of an appointment by each member of the City Council whose term corresponds with the appointing council member's term of office. The Oversight Committee oversees, recommends, and reports to the City Council on the expenditure of the proceeds of the tax created by the ordinance. I'm here to tell you and the public that the taxes are being spent by this City Council without the oversight of the Measure H Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar. Next person is Sylvia Werner. Ms. Werner, Sylvia Werner. The person, we only have a microphone on the right-hand side.
Good evening, City Council. I have good news for the City Council. Spoke to Nick Finley today. The wellness park that we're going to do in the 3 different parks, the equipment has been shipped out today from Philadelphia. We should be getting it when, Nick? Did they tell you how many? Okay, so it's on its way. And I would like to thank the members from the JPA, Mr. Castro and Mr. Real. And I would also like to thank the city manager and Nick, because they have really been helping us a lot. We're going to put up some banners that say this is a future place for the wellness park in collaboration with the Hefferman and the City Council and the City of Calexico. So I'm up here to tell you thank you. It seems that we are working together, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, Mr. Yanes.
Hello. Manuel Yañez, 1089 Santiago Drive, Calexico. Thank you. Good evening, council members. Good evening, community. Probably you know the country about Australia. What has happened to do Australia with Calexico? Is that okay? Thank you. Probably many of you knows Australia. What is in common Australia with Calexico? We have ostrich in Australia. Is that a right pronunciation, Mr. Conde? Ostrich? Yes. Every time the ostrich has a problem, what do? They hide their head over a hole. That's a good solution. But guess what? The body stays out. Same thing happened with our politicians last meeting. It was canceled. Yeah, I don't know what the reason was. I tried to speak to Mr. Kim. He was here. He was willing to come to the meeting. I spoke to Mr. Castro, and he was here. He was willing to come to the meeting. I tried to speak to Mr. Real. I was unlucky. He doesn't answer his phone anymore. I don't know the reason. Probably he changed his phone, or he doesn't want to talk to me. But I was heard that Mr. Moreno and Mr. Hurtado, they canceled the meeting because they had another meeting, or they had a vacation, they had a surgery. If I had a meeting with the community, I will come. If I don't come, then the community, it has the right to ask me why I didn't come. Why you didn't come, Mr. Moreno? Why Mrs. Hurtado didn't come? Why? We are very lucky. Now we are in the global communication. We have Facebook. And you know we had a Facebook. You are really like to Facebook, Mr. Moreno. And many members of the community use Facebook. We had a media. I don't know the reason. Probably Mr. Wong tell council members to cancel the meeting. I don't know. I'm not in the middle. But the community deserves to know the reason when a meeting is canceled. We have the right. If you don't like the seat where you are seated, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Hurtado, as many members of the community will enjoy to be in that seat. And many members of the community are willing to do that. That goes to you, Mr. Real. You didn't answer your phone. Please give it to me. I'm not going to be bothering you every day. I promise you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yanes.
I can tell Mr. Yanez where I was. I was on school business out of town, Mr. Yanez. That's where I was.
Okay. Mr. Jason Chung? He's not here? Okay, then we don't have more public comment. Now come to the council members, city council comments and reports of meeting attended. Who's going to start first?
Real quickly, I know we have a long agenda, Mr. Kim, and I just want to congratulate Captain Victor Montañez, who is a local son of Calexico. He is a Marine Corps, I believe he's a sergeant or a captain in the Marine Corps. And I know he's gone to a lot of the high schools and recruiting young men to enlist in the Marine, in the armed services. But he was honored at Dodger Stadium last week. And his, I'm not sure exactly what, but the Dodger fans just gave him a standing ovation, and it was just a very uplifting moment for him. So congratulations to his family. His mother lives on, his grandmother, pioneer family in Calexico. For many years, Mrs. Gomez. So big congratulations to him. I've met with members of the IID to look at lighting for some of our parks, Mr. Kim. And also, I've met with, looking to meet with some of the investors that want to invest money in Calexico. Hopefully, you'll be available for some of these meetings in the future, as you are the mayor and you are leading the council, so hopefully they'll stop calling me and start calling you, so you can earn your money as mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think they're prepared to talk to you instead of me. So what can I do?
Well, you're much better looking, so that, you know.
Okay, Mr. Rea?
No comments.
No comments? Ms. Hurtado? You're not ready yet. Mr. Castro?
Yes, I have a question to Mr. Warren. It's related what Mr. This lady from the school board, no, I mean, the Heffernan Memorial, Sylvia Bernard, on the Wellness Park. You know what, that is a good option for the seniors, but I would like to hear from my, I would like to hear a support from my colleagues in the administration with you to work together with them in order to install or to work on shades for those wellness programs, because summer is very hot here in this area. So I would like to sit down with you and trying to work on that issue, because it's very important, the shades around the city of Calexico.
Okay, we'd be happy to do that.
I believe, I just wanted to add, I believe the JPA and Heffernan and the city of Calexico, I believe Nick Finley stepped out, but they had already talked about existing shades that Calexico has that might be maybe moved to those areas, because my understanding is Calexico wanted to build new shades, and so that's a possibility to help.
We can,
I think
however,
Finley, when he comes back, Nick Finley could maybe
yeah, however
talk
it's
a little bit
configured, we can put a shade structure over it.
Good.
And
Good.
so we're happy to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll work with you on, they're going to put the, well, they're here, no, I don't want to get off on something that's not on the agenda, but the district is going to provide the materials, and then we're going to actually install them. But then we can work on the shade structures on them.
That's great.
Thank you. Ms. Hurtado?
I'd like to congratulate the Toastmasters of the City of Calexico. They've reinitiated the Toastmasters Club, and if anybody wants to know what Toastmasters is, it's a club where a lot of people get together and they learn how to do speeches and criticize each other nicely. And so we've always wanted to have that type of a group here in Calexico. So we had one, and then it keeps going. So congratulations to all you guys, and I'm going to join the fun. I want to congratulate our staff and that have been working really hard for our city budget that we did receive last time that we were here. We have reviewed that. We are going over it consistently, showing it to other people for their opinions and their input. So hopefully soon we'll be able to close that budget up and get an actual authorization for it. Last week, we had a meeting for the New River Committee. The New River Committee is here in Calexico, and we do have an executive director that's struggling a little bit right now with the position in that funding has been a struggle. So I know that the city manager is going to be supporting the New River Committee so that the efforts of the New River Committee continue. Let's see. We did have a team building training conducted by Mr. Garcia, who's been working with the city and the city council to be able to get this team back together. And I know I was present, and I know that a couple of our council members missed their appointments, and I just want to suggest that we work together and that we make sure that when Mr. Garcia comes here for that type of team training, that we take advantage of that training and basically take it seriously and wanted to put this working team back together. I know that I'm getting a lot out of that type of training. I'm getting a lot out of this type of training, and I'm trying to do my part. However, if the council members do not show up for that type of training that is probably pretty expensive, I'm going to ask that all of you understand that if this is going to be a working team, we do need to try a little better to get better. I am on the pool project committee, and I've been there for the last 5 years. Every time that there is a meeting, I do come here and I do report. And I do report briefly because when we come here and report, we don't have very much time. However, I guess the reports that have been given haven't had much success in being recognized, but we are there still trying very hard right now at this time. Made a suggestion to the city manager that the city of Calexico does need to be much more involved in some of the issues that are popping up in developments right now with the pool. It's been a little too long, and we really do need this pool now. The last thing that I'll mention is that my participation also is as a representative with the ICTC, which is the Imperial County Transit Commission. The City of Calexico has quite a bit of projects that are on the table right now with the ICTC, and they're very much involved with the City of Calexico, especially with the expansion of the Cesar Chavez Street and the widening also of Highway 98 that will be the result of the new port of entry. So we're working a lot right now, a lot going on, and again, I once again urge that the council, if we're going to have these types of team-building efforts, to please participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hurtado. It's my turn then. First of all, I am very disappointed our city officials couldn't do much job than other cities. And the swimming pool became over $9 million. And starting from $3.2 million. I was mentioning if it takes more time, we're gonna every year we're gonna have a more higher price. And they told me I got crystal ball, and I told them I don't have it. I just have a logic. And last year, Lorraine High School swimming pool, even they buy the land, 16-lane Olympic-sized swimming pool. With $5 million, they built it. So what happened here? You have land. Well, and the other one is Ms. Padilla was mentioning the Facebook, someone intentionally lies. I went to orthopedic clinic to congratulate them how they helped them. They were asking me they need a more longer contract. I told them they need to come to council or they need to talk to council what their issues. Just not asking the council, they need to raise their voice. That's all I told them. I take the picture with them. If somebody to lie on it, I don't know what's the intention. Good luck for them. And the other one is, Mr. Yanis was mentioning our meeting. Our meeting, regular meeting, should not cancel. If the government code, if the council, we have to have a prior meeting to put it on the agenda, discussion how we're going to do it. And we never been happened. And since last year, probably after June, we got about a year running. We have several times improperly, illegally canceled the meeting several times already. We should not do it. Our council member has to be aware on those cases. And this one, I'm gonna put in the minute. This one is a sample of the other cities. They have canceling the city of was called what's the city name is here? I forgot. City name is City of Arroyo Grande. They had 2 months ahead to planning to canceling their regular meeting. This is an example. And this is our city, government code, the 54954A. Each legislative body of the local agency, except for the advisory committees or standing committees, shall provide by ordinance, resolution, bylaws, or by whatever other rules is required for the conduct of the business by that body, the time and place for holding regular meetings or advisory committee or standing committee for which an agenda is posted at least 72 hours in advance of the meeting pursuant to the subdivision A of the section 54954.2, shall be considered for the purpose of this chapter as regular meeting of the legislative body. Our ordinance said we have the prior meeting to cancel. We didn't do it. And when the city staff, they don't like it, they just push the meeting. We shouldn't do this oftenly. This is like we are breaking the law, and we are not facing truly with our community members. I'd like to discipline the minute.
Should we give it to staff first, so you
No,
can
the
see it?
clerk.
You guys need to see it first? I think you should share it with the staff.
Doesn't matter. It's clerk is the duty of the minute.
Well, I think we all should have a copy. All of us should have a copy before you start spooing
No,
off
I'm
all
just
these government
I'm
codes.
adding the minute. I'm adding the minute.
Okay, but I don't have a copy of this, and I'm not sure what you read.
Okay.
Sure, I'm gonna give it to city,
I got a copy. Give the copy to the.
this
to
is
the
your copy,
clerk.
and pass that over to
Sure.
city manager.
I don't make anything wrong.
I don't have a copy. Do you have a copy, Javier? So how do
So?
you know, you don't?
So the city staff didn't provide it. City staff, they're breaking the rules and ordinance, government codes.
Well, the city hasn't violated any laws, so I'm sorry, Mayor, but your representation that somehow, that somebody has violated the law is just patently false. And we shouldn't have to sit here and listen to allegations from you on something that simply isn't true. So I'm sorry, Mayor, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when you make allegations without any basis of fact, it's just not right, it's not appropriate, it's not professional, and it certainly isn't ethical.
Well, city council members together to have a security breaking the Brown Act to cancel the meeting. That's all happening.
Mr.
Maybe
Mayor,
they
I think we
should-
should move this consent calendar,
Okay.
please. We've got a long agenda.
Could you maybe launch an investigation on this?
Please. Launch the investigation.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Let's move on. This is
Okay.
nonsense.
They don't want to. They don't want to facing the truth. Let's say consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agencies, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Is any wishes council member to pull the agenda, pull the individual talking?
Seeing that there's none, Mr. Mayor, I motion for the approval of 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26.
second.
Aye.
I think so. Yeah, Mr. Leal wanted those tables.
Mr. Mayor, there's a motion on the floor to approve 22 to 26, and there's a second by Mr. Real. I think you should call for the vote at this point.
Need a table? You had a question for number 26 during the.
26 is not on there. It's 20,
Yeah, that's consent calendar, 22 through 26. Okay, we have a 26, authorization Public Works Director, City Engineer to sign change order. Number 2, granite construction in the amount of the,
Actually, yeah, motion, 22 to 25, I motion to table 26. Yeah, table.
We can pull out.
Wait a minute, Mr. Mayor, I
I
have a
will rescind
motion
my
on the
second.
floor.
I will rescind my second.
I have a motion on the floor to approve 22 to 26. There was a second by Mr. Real. Is Mr. Real rescinding his second?
Yes.
Okay, then for tabling of 26?
I make a motion to approve 22 to 25 and table 26.
Why table?
Mr. Servida is not here to give proper information on that.
Can the city manager do the proper information?
This is part of the airport project, and it's a change order to complete the project. Our share is 5% of the 78,000.
Okay, why don't we to pull out the number 26, to discuss it separately? Someone make the motion to number 22, 25 then?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, there's a motion on the floor by Mr. Real to approve 22 to 25. I'll second that.
Okay, then second.
Please call for the question of the vote.
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 Make a motion to table 26 to
For the next meeting?
next meeting.
Second for discussion, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to ask the city manager a question. Mr. City Manager, is there a time, is this a time-sensitive issue?
No.
Okay, then that's all the question I have. I'd like to call for the question and vote, Mr. Mayor.
Great question.
But can I make a point for clarification?
Yes,
We
sir.
keep using the item table. Table under your code means to put it on the table and not pick it back up until somebody takes an action to put it back on the agenda. So if you're trying to continue it, it should be referenced as a continuance.
Continue it, okay. Make a motion to continue item number 26
And
to
I will
the next
correct,
agenda meeting.
I'll correct my second and call for the
No,
question.
next for
I'll
the
continue.
table for the next meeting, no?
We'll continue.
Continue
not-
for the
not
next meeting.
table, continue.
Not table. Continue for the next meeting.
It's not a conspiracy, Kim. I think this.
I would call for the
Okay.
question, have everyone vote,
Okay, have
Mr. Mayor?
Excuse me.
Yeah, well, let's vote.
Okay.
People are waiting here to get their items discussed.
Okay, let's go vote.
I got to do laundry, too.
Five oh on the ministry. Okay, interim. Okay, public hearings. We opening the public hearings officially 8:06 p.m. We open the public hearing. I believe we're going to open the public hearing for the saving the time for the all together. Number 20A through J. So anybody's, okay, I have some people was wish to talk.
Mr. Mayor, before you open the public hearing, I was going to give a brief presentation on this, a discussion of the matter. This is item 27A through J, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Okay. This matter represents the latest phase of a project known as the Cesar Chavez Boulevard Improvement Project that was approved by the City Council back in June of 2013. The improvement project involves a widening and other improvements to Cesar Chavez Boulevard that are necessitated to accommodate the expansion and improvement that's going on with the port of entry, which will greatly increase the traffic on this portion of Cesar Chavez Boulevard. There are 10 resolutions before the City Council as detailed in the staff report and the sub-staff reports A through J. They would authorize the city to initiate eminent domain proceedings to acquire portions of the parcels that are identified in those staff reports. The city is not proposing to take the entirety of any of these parcels, just small slivers to allow for the widening of Cesar Chavez Boulevard. The current resolutions follow several months of the city's acquisition agent negotiating with these property owners in an effort to acquire their property. It is now being brought before the City Council because these negotiations have not resulted in a agreement to purchase these properties despite the best efforts of the acquisition agents. leading us to the point of needing to at least initiate these eminent domain proceedings in order to stay on the current timetable for the expansion of Cesar Chavez Boulevard. Even after the resolutions are approved, assuming they are, the negotiations to acquire these properties will continue. As discussed in the staff report, there are 4 findings that are set forth in the resolutions that have to be made relating to the, 1, the public interest and necessity require the project for the property for which the property is proposed to be acquired, that the project is planned in a manner that will create the greatest public good and the least private injury, 3, that the property proposed to be acquired is necessary for the project, and 4, that the offer required by the government code has been made to the owner of record. As set forth in the staff reports, all of those requirements are met here. The city is proposing to take only those portions that are necessary for the limited widening of Cesar Chavez Boulevard, which obviously can only happen on the properties that are immediately adjacent. The offers have been made as required. For these, we are proposing that as one action, all of these resolutions be adopted, and a 4/5 vote is required for that.
Then the 4 votes required to pass.
Four votes are required for passage, yes.
Yeah. Okay, this one is, I have a question about this. This is processing the eminent domain procession, but it's not processing final ones, final stages.
This would authorize the city, your city attorney's office, to initiate eminent domain lawsuits against these properties, but negotiations with them would continue.
Okay, so we sue the citizen to sell the properties.
Well, to provide them with fair compensation for their property in exchange for their property to allow the widening to occur. But at this point, we should open the public hearing and allow the those who wish to speak on it to speak.
Okay. So let's see, have a person who wish to talk. 27C, Marta Rodriguez. You got 3 minutes to talk, Mr. Real. Would you?
I need a booster.
You need a booster chair?
Yeah, a booster. Good evening. Thank you for allowing us this time to speak to you. The first we heard of this project was February this year. You mentioned the city approved it last year, and we didn't know anything about it. So February the 15th was the first time we received communication on it. We immediately started meeting with the person that was in charge of making the negotiations. And maybe for you, it's a small sliver of our property, but it happens to be that this particular property of ours, we're losing all of our parking. And the parking is in front of 2 offices that are, really, they've been rented like as furniture stores. So they need the space to park, and they need the windows to show their furniture or whatever they're going to sell. So it's really going to kill our frontage business. In addition to this, we have a problem, the fact that no street light has been considered for the corner of Cesar Chavez Boulevard and 5th Street. And with this new boulevard you're proposing in the heavy traffic that is going to be coming through there, the rest of our renters, we have 22 units in there, and there are warehouses in the back. The frontage is the only part that is really has a view to the streets, per se. So by losing that and not having the access to get in and out on 5th Street, is going to kill the rest of the renters because there is no allowance for that. So if it's going to be an entrance from the border, I can just imagine the traffic. So coming out on 5th, trying to make a left onto Cesar Chavez Boulevard, you have to wait for all the traffic that's coming south. And I don't know how anyone can conduct a business if you don't have access the city made a proposal, and the proposal that they're making is, you know, almost ridiculous, I would have to say. You're offering such a small amount, and we're gonna be losing 2,988 square feet of parking, 2,500 square feet of building, which cannot be rented if we cannot use it. And the proposal the city gave us is to sort of retrofit that particular office and have two entries in each side, one being Fifth Street with no parking, and the other side is an alley. Those have been the two entries to our building with no light on Fifth Street. And the dollar amount that you're offering is, you know, we're losing all of these at 50 cents a square foot just for our office. It's $15,000 a year. You're not even offering 3 years' worth of rent, in addition to the dollar amount that you're taking for all the parking. You're giving us like $3 a foot or $8,900 for all of our parking area forever, a one-time pay. This is absolutely not going to be approved by us. And a letter was sent to City Council, City Clerk, by our attorney, and it was delivered overnight because I don't know if this has already been decided by the board. We're just here to show our opposition to this. It's just, I think it's ridiculous what you guys are offering, and we're willing to negotiate, but the numbers are gonna have to be much higher. We also submitted a proposal from a very well-known builder in the area for some sort of a remedy to this, and it was turned down by the city. And so if we are not able to sort of meet someplace a lot higher than this, then it's going to be going to courts. Thank you for your time.
I'm sorry, what was the property, or what letter was the one on?
It's on C, 475, 477 Cesar Chavez Boulevard.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Next person is the Kuntae Kim. I believe 27H.
Well, Honorable Mayor and Council members and ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak under my constitutional right to speak out what I believe is fair and reasonable. My name is Kuntae Kim from Carlsbad, San Diego County. I'm the manager for Dalamont Holdings, LLC. Dalamont Holdings is the owner of a property located northwest corner of 300 block of 2nd Street and Cesar Chavez. By the way, I am not to protest the project the city is doing. I'm in favor of the project. But as you're aware, City of Calexico is doing the Cesar Chavez Road project, and city has hired a consulting firm to do the job for acquisition and appraiser. The company name Bender Rosenthal from Sacramento. It's not even in this area, or San Diego area. As a result, the consultant approached to me asking to sell small portion of my land, that aforementioned property, and offered me a compensation of $5 per square foot, which translates $39,000 for taking 7,808 square foot to take my land. But I see the problem here. The problem is the consultant has an appraiser that are in-house appraiser. So who did the appraiser and who is being hired to the acquisition are the same company, in-house. You know, when you do some work in-house, and there is a conflict of interest. So obviously, the consultant wants to deliver good job for city. They use their in-house appraiser, and then the particular appraiser who did appraise on my property, he was from Sacramento. He has no connection, no knowledge about Calexico being very unique border city, apart from even El Centro or other area in Imperial County. Nonetheless, he has no idea about the Calexico. So he was using the COM to come up with appraised value at $5 in my case, that he's selectively using the COMs that are not even Calexico, El Centro, much bigger piece of land, or to my own analysis, it is not truly right COMs that he was using it, even though there are COMs available in Calexico. So when you do appraisal of property in Calexico, I think you really have to appraise first the best try to get a COM from Calexico. So I had my expert opinion and also my legal counsel reviewing on this matter. And according to my own finding, there are many COMs available in Calexico that can be provided upon request. But rule of thumb, downtown commercial land, it costs at least $25 for a foot to up to $45 a foot, that being downtown commercial vacant land. And when you go to highway commercial, that is go around $15. Neighborhood commercial sells for around $12. And general big piece of commercial land sells for $10. Then it goes down to industrial, cheaper, $6 to $12, $15, et cetera, et cetera. So I have all this data and expert opinion on this to prove that these are the correct COM that the appraiser should really use, not the COM that they use selectively on their own favor. So I'm here with this opportunity asking member of City Council that please, we need to address this issue that property owner along the Cesar Chavez, I don't think we have been fairly appraised the consequences and the valuation of the property. So I ask that it has to be reappraised by independent third-party appraiser, has no conflict of interest. And also, in this matter, if necessary, and there is an expert attorney that especially deal with this kind of a matter, eminent domain, but then, you know, when attorney involves it, it always costs more money to the city, which that's not my favorable route that I like to take. However, so I ask, please give instead of like you push and rush, you have to give fair and what is reasonable for the citizen, that it is U.S. under Constitution that, you know, we have our right for our own property that has to be compensated fair and reasonable. And please excuse just maybe a couple minutes. I brought my expert witness, Linda Barriento from Linda Real Estate.
Excuse
Maybe
me.
She has just one comment to make.
Excuse me. I think I already give you enough time. We have 3 minutes talking.
I see.
You already talked 6 minutes. If
Mr.
she
Kim.
wants to talk, she can write public comment. She can do her own.
Actually, as a separate individual, she can speak
Yes,
separately.
separately she can speak.
Mr. Kim, I'd just like to let you know that I'm not sure if you're aware that there is, you can conduct your own appraisal and the city will pay for your own independent appraisal. Are you aware of that?
Well, I didn't aware because the consultant approached to me. He just made a proposal of the $5 per square foot.
Well, so you know you
offering.
can get whoever appraiser you want to go ahead and do your own appraisal, and then you can bring both appraisals together to come to an agreement.
Just to be
and-
clear, the city would reimburse up to $5,000 for that appraisal.
Correct.
Okay,
And just one last word, that is, I already have collected many data that supports that I was willing to just make it everything quick happen and willing to compromise if they compensate me $10 a foot. If that is a resolution that if we can take it shorter route, I'm willing
okay,
to take
that
it.
one has to be negotiating. We cannot make this here. I think we have to have a specialty to do it. Thank you, Mr. Kim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. and City Councilman.
Ms. Barriento, please feel.
Okay, you have the opportunity to speak if you like.
Mr. Valenzuela? Javier Gonzalez, I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, right there, microphone.
Just wanted, Javier Gonzalez, Finance Commission member, just wanted to repeat what Mr. Real said, the citizens have a right, the residents have a right to get their own appraisal, and the city will reimburse them up to $5,000. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Barriento. Yes, please. Okay, you can, Ms. Barriento, you can fill it up later. Could you talk right now, saving time?
My name is Linda Barrientos with Linda Real Estate. I'm here just to try to confirm what Mr. Kim said. For compensation, I'm not sure what the number should be because it should be according to the similar types of properties. His property is unique. It's a corner property. He had other proposals in the past. The appraiser should have said, do you have any proposals? Can you supply that? I'm not sure if they did or didn't. But they did use the El Centro area, not at all something similar to what I would call a comp. And he's right about there's properties in downtown that have sold, depending on the location, $45 a square foot. But as he said, the formula, it just starts, I mean, when you get something like $15 a square foot for a similar lot, then his in that location would have been translated to 10, 12. That's why he says he wants $10. All I can say is it's going to have to be something he orders his own appraisal. The city owns property on Cesar Chavez, so I'm sure the city doesn't want to miss the possibility of making money on their own properties. For me, Cesar Chavez Boulevard is a thoroughfare to go to Mexicali, and if we're thinking that's similar to Imperial Avenue, in my opinion, that type of property is going to start selling anywhere between $10 to $15 a square foot. There's no reason why not. But I'm not here to represent anybody other than just saying what Mr. Kim wants me to bring up to your attention. I think the information about the comps needs to be narrowed down, and there's some comps, even for residential land, at $9, or industrial land at $6 to $7. So if industrial and residential, which is supposed to be small, I mean weaker, lesser, is a lot more than what he's being proposed, and something's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think it's 27 public hearing. I think we've been done. If anybody wants to speak with the pro on these issues, eminent domain. Anybody wishes? Okay. So anybody who's supporting the eminent domains? Okay, we don't have any people who wants to support. Anybody besides the person who spoke against the eminent domain process? I think nobody's stand up spoke neither. Besides the three persons who spoke. Okay, now I think we need to close the hearings.
Correct.
Okay, 8:29, we close the
24.
public hearing.
Oh, 29.
Then now we come to the council. The council, any council members wish to talk before we making motion? Mr. Castro?
Well, yes, in my case, I'm supporting 100% the construction of the new port of entry on Cesar Chavez, but at the same time, I'm against. I believe there is some owners, some business owners who, my point is, this issue, they are hurting the business owners. Why? Because they losing parking lot, they losing property, part of the buildings, and I believe it has to be something fair in order to support this business, because just to, I'm not going to mention numbers, but the way I see it, I'm not going to support this. Why? Because this affects the business owner. That's my point of view. Thank you.
Has any council member?
Eminent domain exists in any city throughout the United States. And we have all witnessed that we do have an company that's handling the eminent domain process. And we were just explained right now that every business owner does have rights. They have the right to have their own appraisals. And the focus of the group that is working doing that process is focused on the business owner and property owner. They are not there to represent the city. They are there to represent the actual property owners. The project that we're working on right now is a new port of entry that this city has waited for a really long time. And I'm pretty sure even Linda, who's in this business, understands that you can't stop progress. You just can't. And it's very understood that many of these businesses and citizens of the city of Calexico will have losses. They will. However, there is a greater good here. And I think that people who have reasonable thinking will understand that in order to be able to provide benefits to the vast majority of people of this region, there's going to be some people that may have some hurt. And to not support a new port of entry, I don't even understand where that came from. But I do believe that the process that we're going through is not anything different than any other city in the whole United States or maybe other countries. But as far as this project happening, it's going to have to happen, like it or not, because it is just the way that progress functions. And so the City of Calexico is very sensitive towards the different needs that the business owners will have. That is why we hired a very professional and experienced organization that will handle that. So I know that Mr. Warren is extremely sensitive as well to all these needs and issues. So anyone that's out there that feels that they need a little more attention or questions to be asked, make sure you approach us or our city attorney for the legal answers to your questions. This council, we are not experts in this field. That is why we have to hire these professionals. And we just want to make you understand and know that throughout this whole process of bringing in this new port of entry, the sensitivity is there and that we all wish everyone the best. Thank you. Did you want to say something?
Real quickly.
I would like, yes, thank you. I would like to state something because it's relevant both to the.
Excuse me, let's talk to council. You're going to have a chance.
I'm sorry.
Please.
Mr. Kim, I would like to hear what
Okay,
I think
It's all right. I can wait.
Excuse me, he wanted to mention something to me.
Ms.
Go ahead.
Hurtado.
I can wait.
Okay.
Mr. Kim, come on, we're having a very
have a
healthy
meeting.
professional discussion.
Yes,
So if he
yes.
wants to ask me a question, I believe he has every right to ask me a question.
No,
But that's
not-
okay,
not-
we understand we have a little bit of issue here with him, so
Mr.
we
Moreno?
don't need to argue.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I will defer my comments till after I hear the city attorney, if that's okay?
Okay.
I just wanted to state,
Thank you, John.
in response to your comments, as well as the comments of the individuals who spoke, that the issue of the fairness of the compensation that has been offered is not an issue directly relevant to the resolutions of necessity. It is not. It's not an issue that the city has to find in order to pass a resolution of necessity that the property owner agrees with our assessment of the fair market value, et cetera. So in other words, right now, the only issues before the council are whether or not it is necessary for the project to proceed as outlined in the staff report, and that we're only taking the portions that we need for the project, et cetera. But the issue of whether or not we've offered fair compensation and they think that we should be offering more is not germane to the issue of whether or not the resolutions of necessity should be issued tonight. And those negotiations over the fair market value will continue even after the resolutions are issued.
Okay, Mr. Austin, I know you are a city lawyer, but we have a council meeting. If you have something issues, concern to talk, please address the mayor first.
You are
then
out
you can
of line,
talk.
Mr. Mayor. You are out of line. You are out of line, Mr. Mayor. He is part of this team, and we need his legal assistance, Mr. Mayor.
We need to talk to the mayor to speak what you can recommend to concern. That way we can lead the meeting properly.
Okay, I was just trying to give guidance
Yes, I
on these
understand.
issues
Yes, I
as you
understand
discuss
your
them, so you know
intentions.
what's relevant, what isn't, but feel free to
He's-
discuss as you wish.
He's trying to be helpful.
Mr. Mayor, I would like you to probably consider changing your attitude on the legal advice given to us by Mr. Austin. I think it's pertinent that we hear what he has to say at any given moment in time, and that you avoid these formalities in your leading of this meeting. But I want to say that eminent domain is nothing new to the city of Calexico. Years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, Nick Fenley, Highway 98 was a 2-lane highway. Now it's expanded to 5 lanes. Imperial Avenue was a 2-lane thoroughfare. Now it's expanded to 5 lanes. Many streets, many cities, this is part of their expansion, and we have to take into consideration the owners of the property, and we have to work with them. And this $300 million port of entry is going to bring an economic boon to our community. We must make sure that is planned correctly, that there is proper egress and ingress to Mexico and coming out of Mexico. This is going to be something that is going to be just phenomenal for our city. And I think we need to work with our community. We need to work with our business owners and our landowners and find out what's equitable. But at this point, there is a necessity to look at the eminent domain, to approve the eminent domain, so that we can move forward and progress, so that we can have sales tax revenue for people shopping in Calexico, so we can have better parks, so we can have more police on the police force, so we can have all these good things that the other cities have. That is why we should listen to the city attorney, and that is why we should work together.
Thank you, Mr. Morelos.
I wasn't finished.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now I'm finished.
Thank you. Okay. First of all, the people saying we have a 7 council member, city manager and the city attorney, the people still consider that they're acting like a council member. That we should not. Please, don't interrupt it, please. We have a council, 5 council member making decision. We need help from the city staff or city lawyers, legal advice. Then when they need to address the city mayor to what is the issues that they tell the council member what is we supposed to concern or supposed to be ignored. And our city lawyer just jumping interrupting the public to when they're speaking, and the public directly to the communicate the public stopping. We should not do that. We have conducting council meeting, not council meeting in the public. I'm going to talk to my case. Everybody has a chance to talk their opinions. Mr. Real, you did?
May I
Okay.
speak?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to say that the day that the Appropriations Committee and President Obama approved the close to $100 million to get this project going, then that's the day that everything started forward on this project. And I want to congratulate the people that have property on Cesar Chavez, because you guys are going to do really well for yourself. The attorney is correct. We're not here to vote on whether a property owner should get a certain amount per square footage. What I do know is, being an appraiser for 10 years in the past, you need to conduct your own appraisal so that you can take both appraisals and obviously come to an agreement. But at the same time, if you have a property and you take 10% away, the 90% of the property that's left is going to be worth a lot of money as soon as that Cesar Chavez Boulevard is done. I really wouldn't be against this happening if I was a property owner there. Will it cause some type of inconvenience? Yes, but your property should double, maybe even triple in the future. Congratulations. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Mr. Leal. I'm going to say myself. When I was around 10 years old, we had impacted by eminent dominance from the Korean government. Guess what happened? We had homeless because our home has been breaking down. We have restaurant home together. They tear down our home. That night, we went to my uncle's house. My uncle's yelling to us, "This is not the orphan house. The next morning, you leave it. We have to leave it." And a lot of case, governments wants to using the public property to public benefit. I'm 100% support it. I'm glad we have fund this project to the progress in the Calexico, and we have another port of entry. There's going to be a lot of impact on Calexico, but same time, I cannot allow to city governments to abusing city powers, government powers to individuals to sacrifice. But I believe the city has to do a better job. One while ago mentioning, some lady told me that lady was mentioning that they've been contacted late, and some members, some public said they didn't know about the appraisal right. I believe we need to give more time to negotiations before we taking this action. It makes more for us to consider for the communities, not abusing government powers. Think about if you guys have their own house, it's impacting by that, what's going to be happens. So I strongly believe government has to have certain level of respect of the individual's properties. Thank you. So, anybody to discuss more, or someone want to make the
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Then
Please
any
vote.
discussion? I think we talk enough.
Yeah. So, are we voting?
Time to vote.
Time to vote.
Three, two. That means not pass.
Wait a minute.
It's got to be 4-5.
It's
We
got
have
to
to
be
be
4-5.
So I make the motion to table for the next meeting to
Continuance.
Continue.
next meeting to city contact with the property owners to
Mr.
make the more negotiations.
Mr. City Manager,
Negotiations are not conducted by the city. I
Could
mean-
you explain to Mr. Kim and Mr. Castro the ramifications of this whole thing?
Yeah, already know what's going on. Yeah.
Mr. Gonzalez, you too.
This project, I hope everybody understands.
I don't think they do.
Okay.
Let me,
What-
Let
What
me
happens?
let me ask a question to the city attorney.
Okay, I'll let you ask questions, city attorney, and then I'm happy to.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Mr.
What I hear from you, city attorney, what I understand, you mentioned there is still a negotiation with these.
Correct.
All these property owners, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Can you
But we
elaborate?
don't spend
Can
money
you-
with the eminent
Can
domain.
you elaborate more that?
yes, what these resolutions do is
Uh-huh.
these resolutions authorize the city to initiate the process of eminent domain through the filing of lawsuits. The separate process of negotiating with the property owners will continue. And in fact, it is often the case in eminent domain cases that negotiations don't close and result in an agreement until resolutions of necessity are issued, because then the property owners know, oh, this is serious. You know, my property could be taken here. And so they engage, that brings everybody to the table, and many times resolutions are issued, and then shortly thereafter agreements are reached, and there is still plenty of room to negotiate and plenty of room to work with the property owners after these resolutions are issued. That will not foreclose any negotiation at all.
And with the
Okay,
city attorney.
that means we're gonna threaten the community to, if you don't come up with agreement, we're gonna lift your.
Let me just.
But this project has already been approved. You've essentially already said, we're going to widen this property. And so it either has to happen by eminent domain, or it has to happen through acquisition.
Yes.
And so we're here today because we've been through the negotiation process. Our professional organization has reached out to these property owners. They've notified them all in writing. We've seen the letters where they have said, you have the right to get your own appraisal. The city will compensate you up to $5,000. I'm not sure if people aren't reading the correspondence that's been given to them, et cetera, but I assure you that after the resolutions of necessity are issued, people are here today, people will come to the table and negotiate because of that.
Okay,
And
my
let me
question
just
is,
add to this.
in case of that, we have to follow the legal steps, so we're spending money with the lawyer at the same time, and then why we cannot wait another 2 more weeks before we doing this? So in case of
Can I just add something to answer
Go
Mr.
ahead.
Castro's question and also address Councilmember Moreno's? This is the beginning of a process. This is the beginning of the negotiating process. They have the right, and the city will pay for that second appraisal. And typically what happens is the city has an appraisal and they have an appraisal, and you have a negotiation and you come to an agreement. This process, as the city attorneys explained, is just telling the public that we are going to go forward on acquisition. We want to be fair with you. We're going to continue negotiations, but this in no way brings down the heavy hand of government and say this is the way it's going to be. The negotiations are going to continue. So I would urge you to vote for this so that we can continue negotiations with the people so that we can acquire the property and build this project. Any more delay only delays this very important project for the city.
Well, if we approve tonight about this eminent domain, that means we're gonna pressure to take the deal.
No.
Oh, yes.
That's not the way
Oh,
it
yes.
works.
Mayor.
Yes.
Mayor, in that case, with this explanation from the city attorney and the city manager, I'm going to rescind my motion because I believe that.
Only the vote is not done, so vote is done.
You mean rescind your vote and change your vote?
Yes, rescind my vote.
Okay.
Shall we vote again?
Let's just have a special meeting tomorrow on the.
No.
Okay.
I think,
Please. Okay.
See, there you go. Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve this item.
Attorney,
And
we need your.
all of us.
How do we?
Under your municipal code, it's my understanding that shortly after a vote is taken, a council member is entitled to change his vote. So
I already made the motion.
Spectrum, can you rewind the
the
tape?
cleanest way
Start.
is that Councilmember Castro has stated that he is changing his vote from the prior motion from a no to a yes.
So
it passes.
So it passes.
4-5. Okay.
If you would.
Okay, then Mr. Castro changed the vote, rescind the vote, so 4-1 is passed.
You don't want to change your
You
vote,
want
Mr.
to change your
Kim?
vote, Kim?
Nope. Our government consider communities hurts. The big government should not ignoring the individual. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
And with progress, there is pain. I've owned a business, I've closed businesses, and they hurt. But when things are better for a community, you should be ashamed to be in the seat you're in. For
What?
not approving that bias to the
Well, yes, I believe it's not enough to consider for the community members.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay.
Number 28.
I should get a gavel.
You know, 28.
Can I get a gavel?
Number 28. Request by number 28, request by United Way of the Imperial County for City Council sponsorship for the 6th annual kickoff breakfast on September 16, 2015. Is anything, Mr. One?
The
About
United
this?
Way made a request for this item, and so I'll turn the time over to them if they're here. Doesn't look like they're here. So do you want to consider this or move on?
I'll make a motion not to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Please vote.
Please vote.
28. United Way. Because we don't donate.
Okay, number 29. Number 50 to approve it, to not to support it. Number 29, Councilmember Leal agenda item requested donation to Mexican consulate for Mexican Independence Day. No backup material provided by Councilmember Leal.
Can I speak?
Sure, please.
So Mexican consul, Mr. Carlos Vizcarra, met with me and was telling me there's a shortfall in funding for 16th of September celebration that they want to do in the city of Calexico. It's about a $15,000 celebration, and they're somewhere in the $3,000 range off. And so they would like the city of Calexico to help out with a $3,000 donation to the council to go ahead and do the celebration for 16th of September. And so we brought it forward. Council can vote to approve it or not, and that's about it.
Okay, I believe we have one person, Mr. Yanis, wants to talk.
Hello, Manuel Yañez, 1089 Santiago Drive. First of all, I don't want the community to take me wrong. I'm not against the celebration, the Mexican celebration. I'm a Mexican, and I'm really proud about the celebration. But the thing that I'm not really happy with this is the way the city administration has done during the past. If someone come and ask the city manager for a donation, even if it's 1 penny, the city council has to approve it. Even if it's 1 penny. I'm not aware that's a recommendation that has to be done. But what I think, Mr. Warren, as a city manager, he has the power to give donation, $200, $100, $300. That's what I believe, because I have seen checks there and the warrants there is no backup provided for those checks. But the thing here is, even if it's 1 penny, it's not Mr. Warren money. He wants to give a donation, that is okay. He can open his big wallet and give the donation whenever he wants. But he is using our money in his, he has our money in his hands. Every time that he goes and anyone goes and asks Mr. Warren for a donation, has to come here to the city council, even if it's 1 penny. I believe that Mr. Real, they came before to Mr. Warren, but Mr. Real was informed about it, and Mr. Real, I congratulate Mr. Real because he wanted to have the decision made by the city council. The city council, once again, they represent us. The city council can take any decision, and the money that we are putting in our taxes, not Mr. Warren as a city manager. Once again, if Mr. Warren wants to give a donation, 1 penny, $1,000, that is okay. I will congratulate you, Mr. Warren. If you open your wallet and give $1,000, $3,000, $200 to anyone that comes to a donation. But it has to be from your own wallet. Don't open our wallet to give money away, please. Thank you.
You know what, I have to just address this. I mean, this is so, please, let me, sir, I allowed you to speak.
Mr.
So
Warren,
when you're done.
we cannot fight with
You can,
Wait a minute.
Mr. Warren, anytime that you wanted to speak to me, you have my phone number, you can talk to me, okay? You haven't
Mayor, I'd
tried
like
to
to
talk
make
to
a
me,
comment.
and this is
Point of order, point of order. Things
Mr.
are getting
Mayor,
out
I'd
of
like to
hand,
make a
Mr.
comment.
Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a comment. Mr. Yanez and
So,
Mr. Real.
Mr. Yanes, if you finish.
I'd like to
go-
make a comment,
I understand,
Mr.
please.
Mayor, please.
We cannot.
I'd like
we
to make a
cannot do
comment.
that.
It's my turn.
This one.
The council,
Please.
the actual
Mr. Yanes,
council.
if you're done, you go ahead, please sit.
Okay,
sit
thank you.
down.
The council approached me as well, and the council did not approach this city manager for a donation, sir. He approached the council members individually and asked us, okay? I think it's really important that all of us kind of calm down here with the accusations, because that is not true. Another thing that's very important to this community is our consul. And the consulate, being an immigration consultant for this long, almost 30 years, I know how important it is to have an established relationship with the consulate here in Calexico. And this city council, this city needs to work with this consulate. We need them. And that's what is a conversation that I had with Mr. Warren today was about this consulate, that we need to work with them. We need them here. They already threatened us about leaving Tel Centro and leaving the services that they provide here at this border city, so important for this community. So when they approach us and they ask us to work with them to provide some type of assistance so that this community can have some type of a quality type of event, just like when we do 4th of July. These are quality of life issues. They are not donations. They're things that the actual whole community is going to enjoy. So please do not misinterpret what's happening here. The council approached Mr. Real, approached me, and did not ask for a donation by Mr. Richard Warren. Mr. Warren knows his position, and he knows what he can and cannot do. He understands that. So please don't misinterpret. This is supposed to be something really good. And the consulate should be somebody, an organization that we should actually very much allow to be a part of this community, because if not, we will lose them. So I totally support this, this assistance. Thank you.
Let me just say something real quick. Mayor, may I?
Sure, please.
The prior agenda item 28 for United Way, that was actually, United Way is I think it's a nonprofit, right? So they were looking for a donation. As far as the council, it's, I guess you can see it as a donation more than anything. It's some money that they're short to do a community 16th of September celebration. If they were asking for the whole 15,000, I'd say, whoa, you know, but I think they're $3,000 short, that's what they're asking for. And you know what, I have to say that, I mean, I've lived in Calexico my whole life, and slowly but surely, we keep losing, you know, I remember having fireworks at 4th of July. No longer, you know, the budget doesn't allow it. What's next? No 16th of September. I mean, we're 95, 98%, you know, Mexican in this city. 16th of September is huge, and you know, $3,000 is a lot of money, but I will support it because you know, we'll spend it on other things, and I believe this is important to have at least one celebration for our Mexican heritage, and I will support it.
Okay.
Nation, sorry. Mayor, yes, I'm supporting the $3,000 to support the Mexican consulate to celebrate the 16th of September. Definitely what Mr. Mandy Real mentioned, we need to support those kind of events here in Calexico. We are losing those events, and definitely $3,000 are $3,000. It's not a lot of money, but we can help them. If they asking for $3,000, I believe City of Calexico can help them in order to make it happen for our people. And definitely, Mayor, I'm supporting that.
The $3,000 does include a sombrero for the mayor to wear.
And a zarape.
And a zarape at the celebration.
Mr. Mayor, let me just say one thing. These are great events. Dignitaries from Mexico come over to our city to celebrate the 16th of September. It falls on a Saturday, on the September 12th, so that they can celebrate another 16th of September in their community. So I think we should welcome this and we should support it, and let's move on.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Do I have a chance to talk?
Not really.
Sure.
Sure.
Everybody's spoken enough.
Nobody really cares.
You want the sombrero or not?
Okay. So first of all, I have a questioning why our city of Calexico, we have issues with the money and have to help or donate it for other countries' celebrations, independence celebrations. Why the Mexico government doesn't have a fund to consulate to do it? That's my question. Why Mexico government doesn't do their own independence celebrations?
For clarification, they
That's
do.
my big question.
Okay.
Is. Okay, please. Please. Okay, that's my question is, the Mexico government supposed to have a budgeting for those kind of plan or celebration for throughout the consulate.
Mayor Kim, may I add something? Actually, they do have a budget. Mr. Carlos Vizcarra, consul, did say they do have a budget. What happens is that every city in the Imperial County wants to have their own 16th of September celebration. City of Brawley, Imperial, El Centro, and Calexico. And so it's a little, the funds are spread out a little thin. And like I said, it is going to be a $15,000 or more project. $3,000 is not the whole. It's maybe 15-20% of their whole of the whole party. So they are putting their part.
Well, Mr. Mayor, Olivia Valenzuela again. I'm a Mexican, and I'm a very proud Mexican, and I'm very proud of my heritage. And the gentleman back there said that Mexican consulate belongs to us, and he's really wrong. It belongs to the Mexican government. And if they know that we have this event every year, why did they not plan accordingly? I don't mind having the celebration, but if they need money, why don't they turn to the community, who is more than 95% Mexican, and have the money from us directly, not from the city council? Why didn't they go to the social service clubs? There's a lot of things they could have done to raise that money, and there's still time. I resent the city council giving away our funds that come from property taxes of people that live here and work hard for these kind of events. I love the celebration. I take part in it every single year. But I take my little money and I spend my own money. And if the Mexican consulate wants to have a celebration, then have him get the money from his president. After all, they're raiding the treasury. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, oh, wait. Okay, this is the last one. Please write the, Ms. Valenzuela, no
She didn't have a
slip?
slip, you.
No slip? Please.
She didn't have it. I'm not in favor or against, Javier. She didn't have a slip, Ms. Bautado.
He needs your slip.
Okay, that's the last one we're gonna
I'll
go
give you my
vote.
slip right now. I'm not in favor or against. I just want to tell you that Javier Gonzalez, I organized these events for 8 years for the Chamber of Commerce. It was me who organized them and put them together. They're pretty nice. I'm not in favor. Whatever you do, I respect you. I don't interfere like a lot of people do. Whatever you do, I respect you. I just want to let you know that when 4th of July was started, California was not part of the United States. When Mexico started at September 16, California was part of Mexico. So we're more Mexican than the United States. The 4th of July, 1776, California was not part of the United States yet. So I just want to let you know these events are great, Mr. Kim, and whatever you vote, I respect that. Thank you.
I thought you were going to tell us about the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.
Manifest destiny. Manifest destiny.
Manifest destiny.
Okay, now we come to the council. Let's say, okay, then my question is, the government has supposed to have fun for that. Okay, I have a vote.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I believe Mr. City Manager wanted to say something.
I just want to make one comment. Mr. Yanez, I mean, what you said is totally false. I'm not giving money away to organizations and stuff like that. One of the reasons why number 28 is on there from the United Way is it's because it's a council decision. So when you make statements like that are just simply not true, it's just not right, and really it's irresponsible. And I'm just here to tell you just have not told the truth, sir. And I just don't appreciate the allegations being made. No, you had your chance.
Please, for whatever.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Real. I'll second the motion. Call for the question. Vote.
Please. Okay, the motion made by Mr. Real, second by Mr. Moreno. We will vote. Four to one.
Wow.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Number 30, attendance report for the commissions, boards and committees.
I make a motion to continuance on this item.
Mr. Mayor, can I second for discussion? The recommendation is to advertise the vacant positions, and then I'd like to appoint to the Economic Development Commission, Lina Cárdenas.
We have to, we're not in the agenda.
This is 30.
But we're not on the appointing positions.
Well, there's about 5 recommendations if you look at your backup information, Mr. Kim. It's a recommendation to advertise for vacant positions and to appoint for the Economic Development Commission by Mr. Mayor Pro Tem Castro and myself. Planning Commission, you have to appoint. BID, I have to appoint. Mr. Kim has to appoint. Recreation, Mr. Kim. And Financial Advisory Board, Ms. Hurtado. Is that number 30? Are we on number 30?
So I'm the only one that's has.
You're fine. You're all loaded. I mean, you're
doing such a great job. It's. Un sombrero para mí también.
So if Mr. Real would like to restate his motion,
I'll rescind my motion.
then I would like to recommend that we advertise, and I'd like to appoint Ms. Lina Cardenas to the Economic Development Commission.
Some words?
Okay, so your appointments.
Fellow Toastmasters?
Okay, so,
Mr. Kim, Ms. Lina Cardenas would like to show off her Toastmaster skills.
I'm still learning. Honorable Council members, City Manager, City Attorney, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to serve and contribute to this city, to the Economy Commission. I will do my best. I work here in Calexico at an export plant. We export to Mexico, and we are buyers from different countries. And I would like to offer my experience, and I studied in Mexicali University. I studied business administration, and I just would like to contribute with my skills and serve to this beautiful city, that we need to value this city and see the positive and the abundance we have, and we don't have to focus on the lack, so focus on all the abundance we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, right now, I'm not ready to appoint to my positions, and I'm gonna appoint the Planning Commission, Jason Zhang. Okay,
Jason John.
Jason Zhang,
I'm sure there'll be colorful
Planning
meetings.
Commissions. Yes.
When is the next meeting? I want to make sure I'm there.
Okay, so any other council members appointing? Okay. So we're gonna continue to advertisement the rest of them positions to see we can have a next appointments.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, number 31. Mayor Kim, okay, the case appointment for the mayor hearing officers. Okay, hearing officers, I'd like to name the same person, Iran Martinez, staying as hearing officers.
Second.
My appointments.
Just want-
Thank you.
Want to vote, I'll agree with that. He's a good man.
Number 32. Mayor appointments of the Centinela State Prison Citizen Advisory Committee, Javier Gonzalez.
Second.
Which committee is that?
No, this one is the mayor's positions, representing outside.
What commission is that, or what appointment is it?
Centinela State
Advisory.
Prison, Citizens Committee.
Mr. Mayor, can I have a word? The Centinela State, this is the fourth time I've been appointed to this four-year position. It began with Mr. Renithan, then Mr. Carrillo. Then I'm currently in that committee, and just Mr. Kim wanted to reaffirm myself, and we haven't been that active, but I can tell you that I'm going to start working with prison guards. If you recall, when I was involved with the prison, we had the prison inmates cleaning Calexico, we had the jail inmates cleaning Calexico, and the youth authority cleaning Calexico. We had a refurbishing program with the prison. We send them bicycles. They will refurbish them and bring them back to the kids of Calexico. And another program we're going to start is we're going to plant trees. The inmates are going to plant trees, and we're going to give it away to the citizens of Calexico. These are some of the programs that I have in mind, but I am the current member in the committee, and it's not a city commission.
Can we do a downtown cleanup for the?
Well, we're going to have to work with Mr. Warren here, because they do have a small charge, but for the crew they have, it's minimum.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are the qualifications to have an MPA part of this?
Okay. Number 33, Mayor Kim agenda items request, the mayor's appointment to the Oversight Board of the Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency. I'd like to appoint Mr. Mandureal.
I will take that, thank you.
Way to go, Mandy.
Second.
Second.
Appointment by the City Council of the resident commissioners to the Calexico Housing Authority Board.
I'd like to appoint Daniel Santillan. Oh, it's a regular. Oh, it's a regular commission. Oh, that's right, he doesn't.
Regular commission, yeah.
I'd like to move to appoint Danny Santillan.
I'm second that motion.
Okay. We have second, then we're gonna have a discussion, we're gonna, the vote. Juan Villarreal. Brad Villarreal. So if we don't do discussion, we're gonna vote for this.
I filled it out.
Oh, I'm sorry, for Santillan?
I'm sorry, we had a number 34, John Lomo.
Yes, I was
What do
trying
we-
to get your attention. Basically, I was reading your agenda, and on your public comments, it does state, the city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included in the agenda. It doesn't mean I cannot speak on public comments.
Yes,
That is my privilege. In fact, we did not take any action. You just heard my comment. That's it.
thank you.
What I actually wanted to say, I already said it. I have developed a resident organization. I'm working with the current commissioners. And what I really wanted to say is that I want to bring some grants to the city now through this organization. I've spoken to Chief Bostic, and I've spoken on behalf, I think I've spoken to Mr. Moreno on previous occasions or on past meetings. And I think it's a win situation. This housing authority needs to go forward with the housing operations policies. There's a lot of programs available there. And I think that we can share some of this funding to the city. And we had a contract with the city, but Mr. Mayor, you're not listening. What our intent is to share this proceeds from the grants with the city. There was a contract before, a drug elimination program. We want to revamp it again and bring it forth because there's a lot of criminal activities in there. Without going any further, because I already stated what I had to say, I'm already working with the commissioners, and this is what I really wanted to say. It's just that we're going forward with it, and I'm just a consultant, and that would be it. We're looking to provide grants for you and share with the city. That's it. Provide above-line services for the police department and have them come into our projects, more visible, more visibility. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Any
Rom.
comments from you? No, I guess not.
How's the senior commission going?
Excuse me?
Senior commission?
The senior commission?
Have you guys met? I believe you're on the senior commission.
But
Can I
this is
speak
not
on
the
that?
city
We should probably
commission.
not talk about that, yeah.
Well, okay.
We'll talk about that later. Applebee's after that.
I've sat down with Mr. Warren, and there is a senior that wants to participate. But apparently, the information that's being disseminated so you can recruit the 2 extra senior commissioners, they're not well understood. So this lady showed interest, and I told them to fill out an application, and I shared that with Mr. Warren.
Mr. Warren, maybe you guys can get together and get the senior commission
There's
going.
no problem,
Okay.
we're ready to go. There's a vacant, I'd say 1 or 2 vacancies.
Are we
from the-
advertising the vacancies?
From the multi-purpose, or the, excuse me.
Well, the projects, you know.
From the projects. So-
Excuse me, it's not agenda, so we
Okay.
cannot
Fine.
discuss
Sorry.
and make a decision on this. Okay? So it's not voting yet?
We need Castro's vote for Santillan.
Yes.
Oh, okay, he's,
I make my,
No.
I'm second that motion.
so you need to press the button there. There it
Okay,
is.
4-1. Mr. Santian, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, and then we have number
95.
35.
Mayor, we recommend approval. This is the direction given by the council to have an ordinance that would prohibit smoking in multifamily complexes.
I have a question, Mr. City Manager. Would this be subject to only public housing or private housing as well?
Both.
Both.
Both public and private.
Multi-house,
It is both public and
Could we
private.
restrict it just to public?
You could, if you wanted to make a motion to.
I make a motion to approve the item on just public housing.
Any money that is received through federal or state grants and run by government agencies? Would that be possible?
Okay. Well, I just consulted with the city attorney. You know, if you substantially change an ordinance that's in writing it when it goes on the agenda, that we really need to bring it back. So
For
what
another
we will
reading.
do, that's what we'll do is, we will revise the ordinance based on what you just, the motion you just made, and the direction of the city council, and bring it back that will limit it to public housing.
So should I make a motion to continuance?
No, we've been given direction by council to bring the ordinance back at a future meeting with revisions.
We'll come back next meeting.
Okay.
I'd like to speak to that motion you're going to attempt to pass. This is a matter for the Housing Authority. We are the agency that oversees this, and we're ruled by HUD regulations, and we're working on one, but you, the city, imposing on us will only make a problem if you're not passing it tonight, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's the right way.
We're looking at amending it.
We should have our executive director or our lawyer come in and address that when you're going to vote on that, because I think you're wrong in superseding us. We are the agency that handles through HUD what we have to do on this matter.
Mr.
It's good that
Rioseco?
you're continuing it.
Do you guys have any?
We'll have our lawyer here. Yeah.
Do you guys have any anything in place right now for non-smoking in public housing, multi-housing, single family?
The Cancer Society came and asked us to pass a resolution. We contacted HUD. They made some recommendations to us. What apparently HUD says is that we can't impose our tenants in smoking in their apartments. That's curious. In their apartments, outside, they can't. Figure that one out.
Mr.
So we gave
Rioseco, however-
instructions, we gave instructions to our attorney to come back, and he hasn't yet.
Okay.
So we are working on it.
Mr. Rioseco, however, the Housing Authority does not envelop all residential units that these policies here would be affecting. The Housing Authority only manages a certain number of units in the city of Calexico. Therefore, the city, when the city is looking at this, they're not looking at just your units under Housing Authority. The city of Calexico is looking at all units in general, which many of those you do not have authority over.
I think I misunderstood then. If you're saying that, I think the gentleman said public public housing, that's us.
That was just said now.
Public
That wasn't
housing
said before, though.
is the housing authority.
So the city does have jurisdiction. It sure
No,
does.
no, you don't.
Yes, we do, sir.
You merely
Yes, we do.
appoint.
I believe you're
You-
wrong when
you-
you're saying that
you
we do not
merely
have
appoint
jurisdiction.
commissioners
Because
Okay.
the housing
or
authority
remove
only has
commissioners.
jurisdiction over a certain amount.
Okay,
We don't have
I think,
jurisdiction over everything.
excuse me, we
Insofar-
cannot,
Insofar as it applies to the housing authority, we're working on this matter, and you would be interfering.
But to say that we don't have authority, sir, I believe that's incorrect.
Not in public housing, man, we don't.
okay,
We don't.
Mr. Seco, thank you for the talking. I think this one is, we're gonna have it down on the agenda. We're gonna bring back to the ordinance.
Correct. We'll bring it back in the future with revisions to limit it to public housing or housing that receives public funds.
Okay.
This next one is even more exciting than the last one. It's for hookah parlors. So let's get right down to the real nitty-gritty of something a little more exciting, you know? This ordinance would prohibit hookah parlors within the corporate limits of Calexico.
Okay, number 36.
Yeah. Is there, okay,
Please.
I'm going, I think I'm
Number
getting ahead of
three.
myself, but can I ask a question to the city manager?
Please.
Has there been a business or anybody that's looked into opening a hookah parlor in?
Come on down, Ralph.
Mr. Hookah.
Okay.
here.
This is the expert, this is the resident expert on hookah
It's
parlors.
the
you
hookah
know.
expert, huh? How many hookah lounges have you been to in your life?
Many. No, not really. I haven't been to any. Apparently, there has been some interest on a couple of businesses that have come in and want to put this type of business in here. We kind of looked at what our neighboring cities are doing, and El Centro, they have a prohibition on
Prohibition, okay.
on hookah parlors. They figure that it's something that is not encouraging to our youth. And one of the businesses that wanted to come in, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to do a hookah parlor along with a bar and another business, which would, that would be very,
So
wouldn't be
my question,
appealing to.
let me ask you a question. Bars, establishments, restaurants, bars, right now, California law does not allow, or actually, I think it's federal law, doesn't allow smoking in bars anymore,
It does not
correct?
allow.
So allowing a hookah, to allow them to smoke hookah in a bar, you're going against the law anyways, is that correct?
Well,
Secondhand smoke.
I don't know a whole lot about how that works, but, yeah, they claim that there's no smoke in there.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of the plans that they had in the hookah bar is to put a lounge that would be enclosed where smoking, they would have smoking in there, where those that want to smoke could go into that
Okay.
room.
I have seen the, I know that other cities have vape shops, and there is one here in Calexico. That's a big thing that's going on. City of El Centro and Imperial, I believe, allow it. I'm not sure about Brawley. Knowing that there's some businesses trying to open that here in Calexico, we do need, obviously, the revenue. But I would be very, is there something that you have in place as far as maybe they can't be around certain feet from schools or something of that nature in case they are voted on to be allowed in the city of Calexico?
One of the things that we were looking at, and we took this to the project review committee to get comments from the different departments, and one of the things that kind of turned off everybody was the fact that that would be available to youth that were 18 years or under the age of 21. And so that's, again, we go back to the same thing, that would be something that would not be desirable. And like I said before, we kind of looked at El Centro, what they have, and they put a, like I said before, prohibition on that.
Okay.
I move that we follow the recommendation by Planning Commission and deny the approval of a hookah parlor.
And second? I second.
I'm sorry, I think the motion's going to need more clarification than that. If the approval is, the motion is to approve the introduction and first reading of the ordinance.
Okay, which
and
is a
adopt the
denial.
ordinance. No, I'm sorry.
Which is a denial, is it not?
It's a prohibition against hookah
Yeah,
bars.
what is being proposed?
Semantics, then. Here we go.
What is being proposed is an amendment to your municipal code that would prohibit any of these uses in the city. So this is an ordinance procedure. We would need to read the title and have a motion to waive further reading of the ordinance and proceed by reading of title only. So introduce.
I have one more question before I make my vote. Does this impact any existing businesses in Calexico? No. There is a vape shop open and a few, I think, some smoke shops or something like that. Are those going to be impacted by will they close? Or they can still sell the hookahs, but they can't. Is any business going to close or be impacted because of our vote tonight to not allow these hookah parlors to open?
Basically, my understanding is that for the usage or to have this type of business to utilize the product inside the establishment, as far as selling and I don't think that covers that. Where they could sell it and probably take it home or take it somewhere else.
So hookahs are allowed in people's homes, that's what they're...
If I'm not mistaken, what this is talking about is the use, having an establishment where people
As
go
business.
in there and utilize that product inside
Okay.
the building.
Is that correct, Attorney?
I'm sorry?
May he speak?
What was the question? I'm sorry. I was looking at the
If any existing businesses will be impacted by this vote as far as them selling the hookahs or someone in their house wants to have a hookah or...
My understanding is that this
Because prohibition
provision
means
does not-
completely, and
This
when you
does
say
not relate to the
prohibition-
selling, it
Okay.
relates to the smoking.
Okay, so
Not
what
the
about
selling
in
of the
somebody's home if they're doing hookah? Does it provision will not allow it?
No, this is business focused.
Business focused, okay.
On-site
So-
usage, right?
Correct.
I move that we approve the first reading.
Okay,
I
so
second
do
it.
we vote?
No. What the motion needs to state is that you approve the first reading of the proposed ordinance by title only and waive the full reading.
I motion that we approve the first reading by title only, and we waive the first reading.
Waive the full reading.
Waive the full reading.
What he said.
That's good. And Mr. Kim would second it.
Second.
Please vote.
No hookahs.
Not Mayor, I'm sorry.
Passed by 5-0.
And as part of this, someone needs to read the title of the ordinance in full. I can do that if the council wishes.
Please.
The council is passing ordinance, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Calexico adopting amendments to Title 8, Health and Safety of the City of Calexico Municipal Code by the addition of Chapter 8.47 entitled Hookah Parlors Prohibited, prohibiting the operation of hookah parlors within the City of Calexico.
Sorry.
Okay. The item number 37. Mayor Kim agenda item requests the city council discussion and direction regarding purchasing authority for city manager.
Mayor, maybe I could give an introduction on this. The way our finances are structured within the city of Calexico, the city council adopts an annual budget. And in that budget, it outlines what will be spent in each department and what all the capital projects are. So in terms of internal control by the city council and in terms of good fiscal management, you adopt an annual budget that outlines spending constraints and outlines the major projects. In addition to that, the city council approves every single bill. You get the warrants every week, every 2 weeks, you get the warrants, and you go through them, and you review them and approve them. Now, beyond that, all cities have, within the constraints of the budget, all cities have purchasing policies as to how goods and services are acquired, and those are outlined in city ordinance. The way the City of Calexico's ordinance works is expenditures up to $2,400. The department head can go out and purchase goods and services. Between $2,400 and $49,999, the goods and services can be purchased provided that 3 quotations or 3 bids are acquired. And those may be awarded by the city manager and the finance director. Beyond the $50,000, then there's a formal bidding process, and that's why the city council approves all major expenditures over $50,000, and you've seen that come to you. So that's the way we're structured right now. The spending authority of the city manager in El Centro is $50,000. The county CEO has a spending authority of $100,000, and the superintendent of the Calexico Unified School District has a spending limit of $200,000. So our current policy is well within what our other neighboring jurisdictions are doing. So that's what's in place right now.
Okay. We have 2 persons wish to talk. Item number 37. Mr. Benjamin Holton and Ms. Maribel Padilla. Ms. Padilla, Benjamin Holton first, please. Lady first. She was first, you first this time.
Members of the City Council, I think if we look a little bit about past history, maybe if we reviewed some minutes from once upon a time, we have, let's say, the evolution of where we're at in reference to this bill or this proposal or this discussion. And just by what the city manager talked about, the different jurisdictions has a certain spending limit where the county has 200, irrigation has whatever their amount, school district, what is it, 200,000?
200,000 for the superintendent.
For the Calexico School District. And what are we looking to do here in Calexico, if I can inquire? 5,000. Is that where we're at here? Mr. Kim?
I don't have to answer.
Huh?
Do I? I don't have to answer for that.
Okay, then I thought we were going to have a discussion for possible, we're having a discussion, are we not?
As council.
So I'm out of discussion, huh?
You can say your opinion, but
And
council not directly to council discussion with
What
the
mine is
community
right now?
members.
Did you ask that question? Mine is 50,000,
his is 50,000. That's what I was asking.
which is the same as the city manager in El Centro.
And it's the same, which he just alluded to, is the same as city manager in El Centro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and city council, are we on the, let's tie the city manager hands down so he can't do anything? So our meetings can be running from whatever the point is to maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, because we're going to have to come with looking for a handout to do the job of the city. Is this is what we elected, I'm going to be very frank, is this what we elected our representatives to do? To set policy, but who administers the policies? I believe the city manager. This is a separation of general law cities. I'm not trying to tell you how the law is, because we have a very excellent counsel to help us on that. But I'm just saying that if you're going to be tying somebody's hand just to tie it down, and you're going to make we're sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, hearing everything that it is to tie the city manager's hands. And is this what we elected our officials to do? to impede the operation of government? Are we looking to have a government that is represented by the people, for the people? If this is what we're looking for. I believe that the government should be something that helps the city to move forward. I have been involved with this economic side of the house, and I have tried my best to move this city, and I think we are moving forward, because we have done things, and I'm sure some of you know of those things that we have done. And working with this city manager, we have moved things forward in spite of some of the city council persons. I have to commend. Now, I may not agree with everybody that sits there, but I'm willing to work with them. Now, I remember one time I was in Starbucks, and the city council was sitting there. He said to me, "I don't represent people like you." And I hope that he remembers, and it's a he, that he said that. And I took offense to it. I took very much offense to it. Once you're elected, you represent everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. Ms. Padilla?
Mr. Horton, I think you were looking for an amount. At the last meeting, it was $5,000. I don't know what it is now because it's not on the agenda. That's what it's been. How many meetings have we had about this? How many? 3, 4? Am I wrong?
This is the first time it's been on as a formal item, but Mayor Kim did suggest $5,000, which we had to replace a radiator on a fire truck 2 weeks ago, and it was $7,500. So if we were to adopt his proposal, we would have to come to the city council before we could repair a fire truck. That's...
Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry, I raised my voice. So, $5,000 is ridiculous if that's what you're thinking, because that's what you had put on the last one when we were at the Juan Diego Hall. I remember that's what you wanted, $5,000. He is a city manager. He runs the city, not you. You don't know what he has to spend. If you're going to nitpick everything, we're never going to get anywhere, because he is going to have to bring everything to you, anything above the $5,000. So, Mandy, you had gone out there and asked what they made. You said 25,000, you said whatever. Now they're saying it's 50,000. So if that's true, and we're looking at all the other cities, we're monkey see, monkey do. If El Centro did something, we're going to do it too. So what's the difference now? Why? Why is it the nitpicking? Everything. You got to get past the anger, the resentment, or whatever it is you people have, and get over with it. It's bad enough what you do to the lawyer, and now you want to nitpick everything that goes through his, that he buys for the city. So it's what, 20 till 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock. We had 39 items. So imagine if he's got to go through every single item he wants to buy through you guys. We're going to be here till midnight. And I am demanding a taco guy, popcorn, or something out there if we're going to be here till midnight.
Thank you. Okay, other council members?
I personally think we should just leave well enough alone and just leave it as is. We're in the same line as the El Centro city. We're in the same area. We're even less in the county and much less in the school district. And you're going to clog a lot of process that goes through the city in purchasing. So I suggest that we not even take action on this item. If we do, then we deny it and move forward, because this is just going to create a quagmire.
I've done my homework. I don't know where you got your figures from, but I'm related to somebody that you put on there that supposedly has a higher amount, and I just text them right now. But you know what? Look, there's cities like Imperial that have 5,000 spending. There's cities like El Centro. There's cities like Calexico had 10,000 in the past. Coachella has 20,000. Mr. Garcia just also sent me that their city manager has $20,000, and it's about a city about our size, the city of Coachella. And so I think $50,000 is high. I think 5,000 is low, but I would make a motion to go ahead and limit the spending to 10,000 per.
Can I make one comment,
And
council member?
How long do you want these meetings to last, Mr. Real?
I would like to know.
Can I make one?
Can I give you my? If you go down most of the warrants, now I'm not saying that to pay the water bill. to pay-
Micromanaging.
Okay, there's a motion. Do I have a second?
I have a question before, for call.
I need to correct
I would like,
something.
I would like
Okay,
to know
okay,
the
wait,
question
Mr.
from Mr.
Mr.
Real.
Hurtado, don't
No,
interrupt it.
I wanna
Mr.
know
Hurtado, you're gonna have a
why-
chance to talk.
Why?
You're
Why
gonna
do
have a
you
chance to
wanna do
talk.
that?
Mr.
I wanna know
Hurtado.
why.
Mr. Hurtado,
Because we're
point of order.
Why is it that
Mr.
you want to
Hurtado,
do
point
that?
of order. Don't
We're in
interrupt
hard
some other
financial
council
times.
members. Don't interrupt the
We're in
council
hard
members. You're gonna have a
financial
chance to
times right
talk.
Why that?
we're in financial hardship right now. Our balance, it's a balanced budget, and so we got to be careful with the money. And you know, if you go through most of the warrants, nothing's over 10,000 unless it's something that he's paying on a monthly basis.
Let me add one
if
other thing.
it's-
First of all, Councilmember
If it's a
Real,
redundant,
I'm not making a redundant statement.
no, if it's a redundant payment like IID, which is 100,000 a month, or anything, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about anything that's not a redundant payment.
Okay.
Redundant or
Number one
repetitive?
is the actual county spending by resolution is in your packet. It is $100,000. The same with, in your packet is the written policy for El Centro. It is $50,000. Now, we have investigations that go more than 10,000. We have, what are we going to not do? Pay CalPERS? We're going to wait to make our CalPERS payment? We're going to make our electrical payment? We're going to, this is.
There's a motion. Is there? Okay, so.
Council.
Okay, now, motion by Mr. Real, second by Mr. Castro.
Discussion.
Discussion, yes.
This is just a flagrant way of micromanaging and taking control rather than allowing the man that you hired to run the city to run the city. Mr. Kim, Mr. Real, I'm sorry, Mr. Real, you are not a city manager. You are controlling this too much. 5,000 or 10,000, what you're asking for is way, way down there. And it seems like you wanted to derail some type of things that are already going on. I think you should step back and study this a little further if you need to, but dropping it down is just going to clog our agendas. It's not going to allow him to do his work. It's not allowing to do, could you imagine they're going to expand Cesar Chavez? Anything over 10,000 has to come to us.
I'm sorry, but that's not.
Do you want to be city manager, Mr. Real?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Then allow him to be spending the way he's spending at 50,000.
Wait.
City Manager Real.
Come on, guys.
Okay, wait.
What do you micromanage? Let
Okay.
the man do his job.
You done?
I'm not done yet.
Okay,
I
you
think
wanna
this is
hold night here?
ridiculous.
You wanna hold night here?
Will you let me speak, sir?
Okay, then,
Would you let me speak?
okay.
I'm speaking.
Yeah, but
up,
don't
Kim.
go to forever.
Look who's calling the kettle black. I'm telling you, this is just a ploy for you to control what all the spending is going on, and that's not our role. Our role is to set policy.
And
And
that-
even though this is setting policy, we are limiting his power to spend. So if they're going to need a radiator fixed from the fire department that's going to cost $12,000 or whatever, it has to come to us, and we can't act on it. I just
Okay.
give up. I give up with these
Okay.
guys.
Okay. I think Mr. Moreno was.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Moreno, you misleading the community. First of all,
Oh my
First of all-
God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
don't
Oh my God,
respect
Mr.
yourself.
Kim, where'd that come
respect
from?
yourself.
Oh my God.
Respect yourself.
You're a joke, Mr. Kim.
Okay?
You are a joke.
I give up.
Calexico used to have a $10,000 limit. Then they
What we
go
need to limit is your mouth.
They gone down to the $5,000. It was there $5,000 before they changed the 2013. 2013. Yeah, it was.
The
It
spending
was-
limit for
at
Oscar
the
was
time,
never 10,000?
2013,
The
they
spending limit for
raised
Oscar was
the-
never 10,000?
Please.
Was the spending limit
Okay.
10,000 when Oscar was here?
You
It
already
was.
had a
Okay,
chance to
thank you.
speak. Please, let us have a meeting.
You talk too much.
If you just interrupting, then I have to call the police to remove. It's a public meeting. No, we already had a chance to talk, some discussion on this one. Okay? We usually had the $5,000 from the $10,000, $5,000 lower till the 2013, and actually 2014 early, I believe the February, they raised the $50,000. That time I was against it, Mr. Castro was against it, 3 votes, they raised it from the $5,000 to $50,000. And they had the project money, which is the construction, they have different criteria. Because that's why I'm saying that Mr. Moreno, misleading the community, because project
You're misleading the community because you wanted the
misleading the
relay of
community, Mr.
investigations
Kim. You have
in the
no
police
idea what this
Project money.
community even wants. You have no idea. You are
Please.
so disconnected from this community, it's not even funny.
Please.
No, we're not
Point
going
of
to
order.
Because of you, this city could have no
The-
growth.
That
You are
time,
so anti-growth.
That time they raised it from the $5,000 to the $50,000.
Nobody cares
That
what you have.
after that, there's all the chaos spending coming out. Okay, so, Ms.
And
Hurtado, you want to talk?
and a horrible mayor.
You want to talk?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, first
Instead
of all,
of-
Mr. Kim.
instead of interrupting,
first of
go
all-
talk.
First of all, Mr. Kim, it's really important for you to understand that you are not the only boss here. There are 5, and we are all equal. When you mistreat people like you have this attorney and everyone else in this audience, we all have to answer for what you're doing. You make us look so bad. But right now, what we're talking about, these $5,000, is because you have no clue what you're doing. All you want to do is control this city manager and micromanage. You have no idea. You run a swap meet store, sir. You do not run a municipality. You have no clue. You are not an attorney, you're not an accountant, you're not a surveyor, and you are not anybody else other than just a swap meet vendor. And when you are at that position, you have to understand that these professionals here, they know what they're doing. And when you limit that, we know what you're doing. We've seen it since the beginning what you're doing. You're trying to control him, you're trying to control our chief. But you know what? You have such a disconnection from this community. This community wants him, and this community wants him. And you, Ms. Castro, ya cállate, por favor. ¿Sí? Por favor. Si quieres decir algo, ven para acá y dilo aquí. Ya estuvo bueno.
Okay, Mr. Bostic, remove her. Maria Padilla, please. Please remove her. She's making.
ven y dilo aquí,
Okay,
porque ya me tienes ya
sitting
harta
down.
con tu pin-
Ms. Castro, quiet, please.
So the fact that we are trying to limit the spending makes it extremely complicated. My number one question is where exactly is the spending authority limit? In his executive discretion, or is that completely citywide with every single budget line that we have? And every single grant application that we have money coming in, where is this madness going to end? And when are we going to be able to function like a city with some type of progress? Because every single vote that's coming out of this council right now, as far as majority, is anti-progress. And I'm pretty sure that this city here wants progress. We want that new port of entry that you just voted against. Anything that has to do with progress, you're voting against. And these $5,000 limits is just a stupid ploy. We're not stupid, Mr. Kim. We know exactly what's going on here. And we as council need to want what this community wants. And this community wants progress and healthy relationships. And you're not even trying, Mr. Kim. It would have been wonderful if you would have gone to that training that we had. You didn't care. What about that? We had a gentleman come over here, and he spent money, we spent money to have him come here. Nor you, nor Mr. Real went to that training. And look what we have to put up with now. A person who has no respect for no one else. And that is not appropriate anymore for this council. You need to be a statesman, and you need to be a politician. Why did you want to be a politician for? To come here and show muscle? No, we're coming here to help our community, and so that this community can grow. And the stupidity that you are doing today is just that, a stupidity.
Thank
so
you.
I totally vote against it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ya cállese.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. The first of all, I don't miss any training. That you lying. You lying. Okay. Second of all,
Mr. Warren, didn't he miss, both these gentlemen missed their training? For
no,
Mr.
you
Garcia?
lying. I was here.
Kim went to his, Real did
Oh,
not
then it
go
must
to
have been
his,
Castro.
neither did Castro.
No, that's not the training. That's what the conversation, the collecting the issues, the conversation issues, and they didn't have a proper communication. They didn't have a, what I understand, they didn't realize that the appointment was there. So actually, the failed communication between the staff and the council members. Okay, please remove her. I need to make the simple case. I cannot do this anymore.
No,
Please.
I would advise against
Yes.
that.
Oh, yes.
City attorney saying no.
I would advise against that. One of many people.
We already want it. I already want it to not to disturbing. Disturbing. You the one who's doing it. Okay? Okay?
Mr. Kim, I call for a recess.
What is Mr. Castro? Can you get Mr. Castro coming in?
Mayor Kim?
Yes.
May I say something about the legality of the proposed motion that's on the floor right now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I have in front of me the existing purchasing policy and procedures that set the $50,000 limit. It was set by ordinance in 2014. You can only change an ordinance with an ordinance. So a vote to limit the authority of the spending authority cannot happen tonight without an ordinance. I think the purpose of this item was to discuss it, have the city manager provide evidence of what he understands other, surrounding municipalities' authority to be, and then for the council to provide direction for us to come back with an ordinance. So for instance, the proposal of $20,000, we could come back with an ordinance that states $20,000. Councilmember Real has stated a couple of times that he may want to limit what the $20,000 limit applies to and make sure there are carve-outs for ongoing investigations or periodic payments. And so that's the sort of direction that should be provided now for us to come back in the future with an ordinance. A vote to limit to the $20,000 tonight would not be effective.
Okay. I understand we have to have a change the resolution, even at least have a resolution.
We need an ordinance because it was previously set by ordinance, and you can only change an ordinance with an ordinance.
We can stop by the resolutions. Okay. So tonight we're voting to give the instruction to the city staff to change the ordinance.
Okay, to come back to the next meeting
No.
with an
We already have
ordinance.
a motion to the $10,000. To then the city staff has to change the city ordinance and the change what's called the purchasing policies to meet the city ordinance.
Okay, so we'll come back to the next meeting with an ordinance for you to pass.
Yes.
Okay, and
Okay, so we have a first by Mr. Real, second by Mr. Castro. Let's go vote.
I would suggest that you restate the motion, please.
Mr. Real?
And I would suggest that you also reconsider maybe coming to a midpoint. If you're dead set on 10, maybe consider 35. But that's just my logic.
Okay, 5-0 to pass. Okay? The 5-2, 3-2 pass. So,
Looks like we've got a new city manager right here.
okay.
I better get out of here.
Number Number 38. Number 38,
Motion to not
Future-
approve?
discussion of the possible action regarding the future agenda items. No backup material provided by Mayor Kim.
I
Okay?
think we're doing just fine with the way we're doing things.
So what I was suggesting is we put put it back to future agenda. We're gonna start without, would you read it, would you put it on?
Imagine that, look for it. Oh, I'm sorry, look for it.
Ms. Padilla?
May I speak now?
Please.
It's 10 till 10. You had 39 items on the agenda today. And now you want to give future agenda items. Mr. Kim, I've been to these meetings for at least 2 years now. I remember when you guys had future agenda items. It took forever. You wanted to rant about whatever you wanted to rant about. It took forever to get through the future agenda items. Then you guys, the 5 of you, agreed that there would only be 5 agenda items between the 5 of you. Between the 5 of you, you were only going to have 5 agenda items. Now you're trying to go back to what you had because you didn't like it when they took that away, because that was your podium. You could talk, you could rant, you could tell us all the dumb things that you wanted to tell us.
Timing?
By the way, what is that? Oh. Oh, so you're recording us, the public? It's a public meeting. Okay, just wanted to know, okay? You might let us know in the beginning, might do more my makeup or something, you know? So, getting back to your agenda items. 39 today, 10 o'clock. Leave it as is. If you need an agenda item, they go through you, Mr. Kim. The other 4 have to go to you to ask to put an agenda item on there. Isn't that what you want? The control. And then it goes up to the manager. Is that how it works? And then you approve it or whatever. It's work between both of you. But it's done aside from these meetings. Have consideration for the public that does care and sits here till 10 o'clock at night to listen to this madre you guys have. So
Thank you.
get away from, I'm not done.
Okay. Clicking on that time, I think we have already passed the 3 minutes.
I'm not taking the time.
Yeah. So leave it as is. It's working, 39 items already. So we don't need to listen to your future agenda items for the future. Do that outside of these meetings. Go to your briefings. That's another thing. Go to your briefings. And then you don't have that many agenda items because you get your stuff in the briefings. But have consideration for us. 10 o'clock.
Thank you. Okay. I like to offer to put on the agenda, the future agenda. Each council member just like has up to the 2 items. But in case it was a lot, we can have for the next meeting separating. For the meanwhile, with the limit of the 2 each council member. But if we have issues, maybe we can limit a little different way. But I like to put it back on the agenda, future agenda.
I move that we do not do that, and there was a second by Ms. Hurtado. Can we take action on that, please?
Okay. Is the light up? Okay. 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 Does not pass.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay. We adjourn the meeting.